Haha! Did the fix.
Heyo.
Hey.
Yay.
So there we go. Let's start from the beginning. Hi everyone! Welcome to our super professional stream where we started off on the right screen and everything totally worked and there were no problems. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. I'm Jess. You're in my channel. Thank you so much for being here. Lately on Tuesday nights we have been doing Fall of Magic and it's been wonderful and spooky and mysterious and magical, but we've lost one wonderful dark spooky witch and gained an adorable pointy-eared elf apparently. So I'm gonna go down the line and we can say hi in order. Hi Kit.
Oh, hi.
Yeah, I guess I didn't give anyone anything to say, so. And Jake, hi.
Hi, I'm Jake. I have no clue what I'm doing.
That's fine. We're all doing this together. Next in line is me. Hi. Then it's Jordan. Hi.
Hi, I am Jordan. I sort of know what I'm doing, but we didn't really play a full game. We just flipped a few cards. This was a while ago. That's it.
It's true. We did do that. It was good times, but luckily we'll do this all together. It's going to be awesome, and this game is wonderful in that it gives you all the rules and makes it all super easy. So I will literally start by reading our first card that y'all made fun of last time. It literally says, go around the table clockwise, taking turns reading these cards aloud. And y'all pointed out, how do I know to read this first card? Because y'all are like, difficult, lemon, difficult.
I don't remember that joke being made.
I don't remember saying anything of the like.
Yeah.
Jordan, do you want to read number 2, please?
Sure. The land you live in has been at war for as long as any of you have been alive.
Number 3, Kit.
The Queen has decided to undertake a long and perilous journey to broker an alliance with a distant power.
Jake. 4.
The Queen has chosen all of you and no one else to be her retinue and accompany her on this journey.
She chose you because she knows that you love her.
Sorry, what number are we on?
6.
You are welcome to look through the Queen cards for inspiration. If there is one that seems right for the group, place it on the table to inspire your story.
Set the card that reads, "The Queen is under attack. Do you defend her?" aside.
The best card, I think, is the next card. Oh, it's not this one. Sorry.
I was really excited. Shuffle the red prompt cards and place them face down in the center of the table.
There's one that specifically says, unless you're in roll 20, and that's like... Put the Queen is under attack in the middle of the deck for a game that's approximately 30 minutes, or shuffle it into the bottom third of the deck to play for an hour or more. I've never had this game run that short. I'm just letting you all know right now. I don't know what they're talking about with this 30-minute game. At least not when everyone's engaging and asking questions and kind of developing stuff.
When you have read the instruction cards, continue clockwise with the red prompt cards. Take turns reading the questions out loud. Interpret those questions and answer them however you wish.
Other players may ask you questions or make suggestions on your turn, but whether you answer those questions or include those suggestions is entirely up to you.
Place the X card somewhere everyone can easily reach it.
So for us, it's literally this big purple X. So at any point, if you just click and hold that X, that's the X. If you encounter a card or answer that you don't want to include in this game, tap the X card. Is this the one you just read?
I think that was that.
Or was that... No, the 12, so 13 is an expansion on 12. Sorry, my bad. If you encounter a card or an answer that you don't want to be included in the game, tap the X card. That content is removed from the game.
15.
14.
14. Come on. If you draw a card that is removed this way, simply draw another card. You can X a card that you drew yourself.
You can also pass on your turn. To do so, give the prompt card you drew to the next player and say, I'd like to hear your answer to this question.
In the past, I'm going to specifically say, hi, Kate! I'm going to specifically say, hi, Kate!
Every time.
That's very specific.
Sorry. I'm going to say that in the past we've done this where... Because it made... This rule makes it sort of so that you feel like you're missing out on a turn if you pass a card. And we didn't like that, so we made it such that if you pass it on to another person after they answer it, you still get to do a card that is your turn. Otherwise, you like miss a whole chunk of getting to expand your storyline and stuff like that. So that's kind of how we played that out in the past, just so no one like misses an entire round. It's not as much fun. Sorry, so I think it's 16?
Oh, so that'd be mine?
Yep.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine.
16. A prompt card can be passed around the table until someone applies the X card to it.
So yeah, in theory, a card can be offered to literally everyone, and it can still be X'd. Continue answering, passing, and Xing questions until the queen is under attack card is drawn.
Each player should answer that question in turn. Then the game is over. You're muted.
Sorry.
I thought I unmuted.
It seemed like a real dramatic reading, though.
Oh, it was
Do it
so
again.
dramatic.
Take 2.
Whoever wants to can draw the first prompt card.
We gotta. That was excellent. We have to find our queen, right?
Yeah, so we'll do that now. So what we'll do, as I said, I was just trying to explain where the layout came from. So that's it for the rules. The cards are all over here. I think stream, yes, you can see. The cards are in stacks over here. So there are prompt cards, there are queen cards, and there are those rule cards that we just sort of read. So if you just grab and pull one card out of the queen deck from the top, we can lay them all out and each pick one card, and we'll choose from the 4 queens that we drew. So if everyone wants to pull one. Me, I am the queen. Yes, Kate, we know. Ooh.
Can't go wrong with a queen on a horse.
And then, wait, I think I did something wrong. No,
It's okay, you put it into your hand. So you should be able to just, if you click on it and then pull it, you should be able to pull it out.
Oh, okay.
Like, draw it out and put it onto the, there you go, onto the field. Okay, so, do we want old Ice Queen, like old Elsa, mature Elsa,
Elsa in a few years.
yeah, I feel like this is like Battle Wings Queen, Horse Queen, or Fur Red Robe Queen. I'm gonna say that old Elsa is one of the few queens I've played with, so I would like, if possible, if everyone's okay with it, I would like to play something I haven't played yet.
If we go with this queen, battle queen,
Yeah,
it'll definitely flavor the game quite a bit, wouldn't it?
it could.
Yeah, I'm all for badass battle queen.
Yeah, we could still, like, part of the story is that you love her, so you're still gonna explain why you love your wicked-ass battle queen.
I mean, yeah. It's self-explanatory, you'd think.
Yeah.
Yeah, my vote's for Badass Battle Queen.
Yeah.
That's also my vote.
Okay, so we have decided.
I also just love the fact that we're calling her like old Elsa.
That's that's just it's just what I think of when I see her. Sorry, everyone's like shuffling the queen around. Okay, so everyone stop moving Battle Queen. She gonna get angry. She looks like Callie. Yeah, she looks freaking awesome. I like her. Okay, so that's pretty much it. That's the start to the game, and now we're gonna pull prompts. Does anyone want to go first? If not, I can go. Or what is? I'll go first since I've played this game before. Let's see. There's someone else in the retinue you love besides the queen. How and why are you keeping it a secret? This is difficult because we have not established anything yet.
It wants you to dive right into the smooching right away.
Yeah, like I don't want to X this card because I like this story prompt, but
Well, it's just asking you to explain how and why. You don't need to define anything else.
okay. There's someone else in this retinue you love. Ooh, I got an idea. Okay. I'm not going to specify who this is, but I'm going to define a role, and then someone can decide if they want to take it. Our queen is passionate and strong and just a renowned warrior. But next to her is her advisor, and they are calm and patient and collected and everything that is a compliment to the queen, and I am in love with them. How and why are you keeping it a secret? How and why are you keeping it a secret? I mean, how I'm keeping it a secret is I don't tell anyone. Why? I think it's because we have a job to do. I think
Are you still getting into smooches with them in secret?
I don't know. I don't know if I want to define that yet. I want to leave it up to someone to take that role and then see if they're comfortable. I don't want to force smooches upon anyone.
That's fair. So is it more of a you keep it secret because you don't want it to get in the way of the job?
Yes. Yes. It's very much that I am all here for our mission and they're all here for our mission, and we do not want to interrupt that or let our queen down.
You're both focusing on your careers, essentially.
Yes. I mean, yeah, I think like we love the queen and we do not want to let her down, and so just, keeping it under wraps. I mean, it's not even defined yet if that other person knows or not yet.
Keeping it under wraps?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're keeping it under some stuff.
Like under a pile of coats?
Yeah, under where? Under there. What? Yeah. So I think, does anyone have any other questions?
I got a lot of questions, but you don't want to answer them. Basically, there's two people in this group that are playing a game of StarCrossed.
Yeah, secretly there's another smaller TTRPG happening within this TTRPG. Yes.
Let's take a break and let's play that game.
We can stream that on another channel simultaneously.
Oh my god, simulcast. Can we?
Does that mean it's my turn?
Yep, you're next. If no one else has any questions, then yes.
Okay.
Oh!
The queen is not your queen. Why do you serve her anyway?
Interesting.
Well, I am I am a ambassador from another neighboring country. I have a lot of respect for the Queen, but I have my own royal family that I answer to, and I'm here because I've been paid a large retainer to be here. That's basically, you know, again, I have a lot of respect for our Queen. They're very powerful, but if the the gold sovereigns weren't showing up at my doorstep every 2 weeks, every fortnight, then I would be working somewhere else. So, but I'm an ambassador to the neighboring country, and I serve her because I've paid to do so.
Okay, so you're in it for the dollar bills.
Well, I have it's a different kind of Fortnite kit. I have a responsibility, and I'm not a spy. Like, I'm out in the open and stuff, and the Queen knows that I'm here, and I send messages back and forth. Mm-hmm. It's a good job.
Okay.
But that's what it is, a job.
Is it an ambassador to the place we are going to?
Yeah, that's fun. I like that. I was sent ahead, probably like a year ahead, to start planning the trip. I won't define it, but our two countries are very different, we'll say, and just the concept of transitioning one monarch to the other country is like a year-long proposition. So I've gotten to know everybody that's in the caravan because I had to vet everybody. Sound good?
Sounds good to me.
Oh, my character's name is Jerry.
Are you serious?
Oh, man.
Are you serious?
No, definitely not Jerry.
Jerry the ambassador.
Yeah.
Get out.
It's about as good as Prophet Bob.
Oh, fair.
I'm not going to name my character right now.
Mm-hmm. Do you love your supreme leader?
Is it the supreme leader?
Like, you know what? I'm trying to leave it open to, I don't know whether you have a monarchy or a, like, president.
Yeah, we have our own king and queen.
Okay.
And I would never show it, but I am excited to get back to them.
So you wouldn't show it. I should stop asking questions and let other people ask questions.
Yeah, I'm jealous. I'll say this. I'm jealous of the advisor because I would be much more interested in being an advisor to my own king and queen than to be the ambassador to someone else.
Interesting.
And now I've said enough. Jerry out.
Does anyone else have any questions?
No?
Okay. So then, Kit, it's your turn.
Okay. The Queen thinks more highly of you than you do of yourself. How do you know this? Oh, God damn it. Because I am her guard, and I stand guard outside of her tent every night. So I hear her while she's in talks with the rest of her retinue.
So, did you get chosen for this role by her?
I would say so.
And you weren't expecting it?
I was not expecting it. I would have preferred to have stayed back at the palace because I think I am not the best fighter. I feel like I would be better suited as a trainer than as her head guard here.
So you were previously like one amongst many guard. You weren't like is this the first time that you're like a personalized bodyguard?
Yes.
Interesting. Um. uh. Well, do you want to ask that question? Because you can ask that. There's a question
yeah.
that. Do you want to ask?
Are we the entire retinue? The four of us?
In the story of the game, yes. It is just whoever is playing. However many people are playing, that is the entire retinue. We can say we have more people. If you want to define a few NPCs, we can, but it is supposed to be somewhat of a small retinue. So
Oh, okay.
so it can if you want to define some additional, like a few other folks, we can do that for our game. But in the instructions of the game, it is that you lot are the entire retinue. It is like somewhat of a private adventure. But yeah. So you went from being like, were you a trainer? You were.
I was more of a trainer to help with the guards who were over the palace, helping them learn how to fight and prepare them to be actual guards.
Mm-hmm.
And she saw me as being more suited to a role beside her, guarding her, than just someone not a guard, and more than that, apparently.
Yeah. She clearly trusted you for some reason to be her, like, kind of like personal guard, and on top of that, we know from this card that she thinks very highly of you.
Clearly.
If you... Do you have any idea as to why? Are you, like, have you done any big heroic things?
I have not. I was just a villager who went through training in a local fighters militia and went through the ranks.
Okay.
Whatever we want to call that.
Does anyone have any other questions?
I like that you were pulled out of militias are usually community run. You know what I mean? Like you were the equivalent of a volunteer fireman kind of situation with the fighting.
Mm-hmm.
So they provide some training and things like that. And now you are a official Queen's Guard, which is not usually what happens when you join up with a local militia. So that's interesting. It's not really a question, it's just a comment.
Yeah, this is it is. It's like, it's super interesting. Like, I'm like, I want to know more of your story, but like, I don't want to bug you to define it yet. But I feel like our queen is clearly like, she knows what she wants and she gets it. So did she like pick you out and we're like, you're coming? Like,
yeah, it feels like she has plans.
Yeah.
For all of us. Well, maybe not for me.
That you know of.
Yeah, I was gonna say, she has plans for you, all right. Whether you know it or not. Whether you like it or not.
I like it.
Does anyone have any other questions?
What is your main weapon? What do you guard?
Ooh.
What do you guard with?
I don't know the name for it, but it's not a spear, but it's
a pike.
Polearm?
Kind of like a polearm. It's a longer stick with a longer blade.
Okay. That's cool.
I know what you're talking about. I can see it in my brain.
Would that be a glaive?
Yeah, I think it is a glaive.
Glaives have slashy blades on them, don't they?
I can check.
It's like a short sword on a stick, I think. It's a glaive.
A glaive. It is a glaive.
Okay.
Yep.
So it feels like maybe we're coming from like a desert kind of place.
Sure.
Because like I just imagine tents and glaives and stuff, and it's like we're traveling
You think Kit's character is using his glaive to hold up a tent?
No. I just mean like he said that
It's my temple.
he stood outside her tent and all that kind of stuff, and it just seems like we have these. I just imagine traveling over a desert. That's all.
So
Okay.
can I ask Jordan something right now?
Mm-mm.
Or no? Okay.
Anyway,
Everything is one person's turn.
Okay.
So you can do any questions directed at Kit right now. Yeah. Anything else?
No more questions, Your Honor.
If everyone's good, then it's Jake's turn.
Okay. The queen is responsible for the death of someone you love. Who? What happened?
Oof. Oof.
Oh my goodness.
These cards don't pull any punches.
This
No.
is heavy. Okay.
Do you want to keep this one, or
Oh yeah, I'm not. I'm.
you're not
okay.
obliged? You can
Okay.
send it off, or you can exit. You can be like, I think it's too early in the game for this. You can like anything, but you could get equally as dramatic a card next.
Okay.
Just
So, let's see. It was an older sibling
okay.
that I looked up to dearly. They were the advisor to the queen. But as the advisor, you're close to the queen and close to a lot of threats. And they got in the way of, I'm not quite sure really. But I had to step up and take their place. I'm not nearly as smart or bookish, but I have to, and I'm here.
So do you know how they died, or is that a mystery?
It's a mystery. I know they're dead because of the queen, and probably a little resentful for it.
That was
But-
gonna be my question.
I know my duties, and I thought it would honor them to step up.
Which one of the three of us, the other three of us, knows what happened and why? So one of us does know, but which one is it?
Well, I would say Kit knows as a guard to the queen.
I know who did it.
No.
Or what happened?
Oh,
Because it seems like Jake defined that we don't know exactly how their sibling died.
And then I asked a loaded question that made you the bearer of the truth, Kit.
I know you
Okay.
know, Kit.
okay.
I mean, that kind of makes sense. If there was some kind of kerfuffle happening and you would be first on the scene. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Could also not be a kerfuffle. Could like
I
could
have
have
something
been a
written down.
poisoning or something, but like Kit witnessed.
Sure.
I'd imagine it was, since it's close to the queen, it was sort of kept under wraps. That's why I don't know, but I'm certain Kit's character knows.
Yeah, do you know that Kit's character knows?
Not necessarily, but like in my heart, I know.
You've got a hunch. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you think I know?
Yes.
I have something written down for that.
I like it. I like that there's an underneath secret story
I
happening
see already.
That's awesome.
So I am taking notes for my character now.
That makes sense. Yeah. Jake, does your character know that my character loves you?
No, absolutely clueless.
Ooh. I like it. I like it. Do you still love the queen?
Do I?
Yes.
Can we ask that?
I mean,
Yeah, we can.
yeah. I
Jake
still
doesn't.
love the
Jake doesn't
queen.
have to answer.
I still love the queen. I wouldn't say I still trust the queen.
That's fair. I'm kind of formulating a question, but maybe I'll wait. Any other questions?
What was our relationship with your sibling? Like, did we all get along with them? Do we like you less or more than them?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I don't know. Do you like me, Liz? Can I like ask that?
You can do whatever you want. People can like agree or disagree, but
Yeah.
you can like define it from your perspective or like.
Yeah, I'm more curious, I guess, what your character thinks we think of you.
So, I guess as far as my older sibling, I'll say older sister, was loved by everybody pretty much, as far as I knew. And I looked up to her like nothing else. Me, on the other hand, I think I'm a bit more like guarded, and so I don't let feelings in easily.
Is that a response to losing your sibling, or were you always more guarded?
No, I would say that's a response. I think my character was definitely carefree and, didn't really have any responsibilities. Sibling was the prodigy. All was good. But then with having to take that responsibility and having some tragedy, definitely just became super guarded.
Okay. Anything else?
I don't have
Okay.
a question.
What promise did the queen make to you before this journey? Do you think she'll keep it? I still haven't defined my role yet. So we have an ambassador, a guard, and an advisor.
Matrimony.
Yeah, I'm like... There's so many ways I could go with this. What promise did the queen make to you before the journey? I'm trying to think of the things I've done before for the queen. Okay. Oh, I'm trying to figure out how I want to word this. The queen promised me that she would choose like officially declare who is to succeed her when she's done. And the reason why that is so important to me is because I am her sister and I am next in line for the throne and I don't want it. So she promised me that whether it was producing an heir or defining, like, you know what I mean, like legally binding, saying someone else would be the successor, I don't want it. And she promised she would come up with something when we finish this journey. Do I think she'll keep it? I don't think that she lied when she said it. I think she meant it. But I think that she is very prone to getting distracted and following her passions, and like I could see her forgetting she made that promise to me. I could see it slipping her mind if something else came up. And so I hope she'll keep it. I don't think she was lying. I don't think it's as close to the top of her list of important things as I would like.
So basically, if she doesn't keep it, it wouldn't be out of anything maliciously.
Yes, I don't think she would do. I don't think she would do it maliciously. Exactly.
What's the most annoying thing that's distracting her from your particular situation? Like, what's the thing that keeps coming up whenever you try and talk to her about it?
She just doesn't think it's important. She thinks it's not going to come up. She thinks that, like for whatever reason it might normally come up, you know, like it might come up if the queen dies, then there has to be a next in line for the throne. But she doesn't think of that. She doesn't like think of her own mortality. I just don't think she thinks it's she doesn't think it's going to come up. She thinks she's going to be the ruling queen for like a very long time. So this is like back burner, like this does not matter to her, whereas like I'm terrified that I will have to be queen and I don't want it.
Right. So you feel like she's playing fast and loose with your existence.
I don't. I think what she's doing is important and I trust her and I love her. She's my sister. But it's a constant worry to me.
Because if you end up being successor, you don't want to have possible threats on your life. You don't want to have to take care of the entire realm and everything.
Yeah, I don't want to have to take care of the entire realm. I'm not as like, you seen how badass my sister is? I'm not that badass. That's not me. I don't want to have to do what she does. Anything else? Jordan,
Is that for me?
So basically, you just don't want the responsibilities of a queen.
No, I don't want to be the queen. I don't mind helping the queen in every possible way I have available to me, and I put her first before even my own wants and desires, apparently. But it's too much. I don't want it. She's like a very strong, confident, capable person, and having grown up next to her and seeing all she is capable of, do not want.
So you don't feel under her shadow or anything. You literally, well, I mean, beyond the fact that she's the queen and you're not, but you don't care about that dichotomy.
Yeah, like I am not in the least bit jealous. I don't want it. Do I think, like, I absolutely acknowledge the many strengths she has that I don't, but like I'm also, which is why I so appreciate how completely different from her Jake's character is. Because I grew up next to this and I like, yeah, she is strong and confident, but she is stubborn. You know what I mean? And I don't feel in her shadow because I don't want to be her. Jordan, your turn. Oh no!
You suspect this journey isn't just about diplomatic negotiations. What else do you believe is going on, and why? Well, the king No. The queen of my country has a sister, and just to shake things up, we're going to say that the monarchy is matriarchal, and so power is passed down from queen to queen, and so I'm pretty sure that the only reason we would be like basically luring this queen over to the other kingdom is to get the queen's sister married off to her. And I honestly think that this whole thing could have been done by messenger of some kind. I didn't think we needed a whole pomp and circumstance to get the queen all the way over there. It's dangerous. Like anything could happen, and that would look really bad on my country. If the queen died on a long journey to trying to get to there. So really, just write a note. Hey, do you want to marry for political reasons? Circle yes or no, and that's really all we would really need. So I'm gonna be, if it's true, I'm gonna be very upset that this whole thing.
Grade school notes. Love it.
Yeah.
But that's my suspicion, is that this is there's a political move that will be made. I also suspect that the queen who I am ambassador to, is not interested in that at all. So it's basically going to be a year and a bit of my life wasted, from my selfish perspective.
So so you don't know this for sure. You suspect this to be true. And our queen doesn't know this either.
No. It's just a suspicion I've got.
It's a suspicion that is the actual intent of your people.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't like it because you feel like it's wasting your time.
Well, it's just I've gotten to know this queen quite well, and she wants to rule alone. You know what I mean? It seems like she doesn't need anybody else, and I firmly believe she doesn't need anybody else. And she's, she seems above this marrying for land and titles kind of thing that the other monarchies are still playing at.
Mm-hmm.
I would say if there was one thing that I appreciated about the queen was the most, it's that she was independent in that way, much like me.
You view yourself as incredibly independent, even though you're on a romance for political reasons mission.
Well, that's what I'm suspecting. But I mean, I've been sent out here on my own to a foreign country that I'd never been to before. I've had to spend over a year trying to understand and learn the customs. I go to bed I go to my room by myself every night. It's I don't have a lot of friends, and I see that she does a similar thing. So, is it love? No, probably not. But it's a great deal of respect for her, and I think that it's kind of insulting to drag her all the way out to my neck of the woods, just to be like, marry this woman you don't know so that we can share a border or whatever.
So you love your queens more, but do you respect our queen more?
I think that she is a better example of where we should be going. As a culture or as a universe or whatever. I think that she's a better representation of maybe where the monarchy should be going. Than my monarch is going for. Again, this is all based on a hunch. We may get there and they may have a birthday party planned or something. I don't know. So we'll see.
I mean, all of this for a birthday party is still...
It's a huge waste of time. There's very few situations that aren't a waste of time.
This meeting could have been an email.
You know what? Send a messenger owl or whatever we have. It's, yeah.
Amazing.
Anything else?
I had nothing for that.
All right.
Not yet.
I have a
Yeah.
question. I know I'm probably the one that has asked the most questions. I'm sorry, but I like, who in the retinue are you closest to, and why?
I would say I was closest with Kit's character. I'm in and out of the Queen's tent regularly for discussions about things. Mostly, I am like the trip planner now. I am kind of
TripAdvisor?
well, yeah, really, that's what it is. Because as we get closer and closer, I'm making sure the Queen, your Queen, is prepared for the customs of my country. So I have a habit that involves a long pipe, kind of Gandalf-like pipe, and when I take breaks, I stand outside the tent, and the person who's there is Kit's character. So I spend a lot of time just either just standing in comfortable silence with them, or exchanging a few words here and there. I am a diplomat. I can't reveal too much about what we talked about, but general news of the day and weather and that kind of stuff. Maybe we both smoke something similar and we share a leaf with each other or whatever.
How different is your culture to our culture, your kingdoms?
I'm gonna say that where your queen is very fiery and energetic and that kind of stuff. We actually our kingdom is sort of in a bog, almost literally. It's kind of like a swampy kingdom. The castle is constantly being propped up to because it's sinking slowly into the bog. It's not like as ugly a place as it sounds, but it's on a lot of raised platforms. And whereas I imagine your life, your day-to-day lives are a little more energetic, and there are parties in the street and that kind of stuff. Our country is really more about just making sure that we don't all just disappear into the muck. And so it's really like hung over our heads that if we're not careful, all that makes us sinks. So there's definitely this like you can go for a drink and play cards and stuff when you're done making sure that your house doesn't sink into the mud. And so I have certainly lightened up a lot more since getting to this kingdom, but I am definitely used to a more pragmatic way of life. And so I imagine it's very much more parades and just like excitement that I'm just not used to. So I come from Mudtown.
If we're all good, it's Kit's turn.
Okay.
Interesting.
What did I bring with me to protect the queen? We covered this. I brought my glaive, my trusty sharp glaive. I will poke any ne'er-do-wells that try to come. Yeah.
That seems pretty straightforward. Do you have anything, do you either have anything, additional, hidden or something within you, or,
The strength of friendship was in me the whole time.
The real journey was the friendship we made a lot? No.
We were looking, I think, more for a switchblade or...
I mean, I have, I wear a sort of, a leather jerkin, and I've got a bandolier of daggers on the inside that are hidden from people. That's mostly it. I wear kind of a lighter leathers, but it's generally, since we're from seemingly a more arid climate, I don't wear much too heavy of armor, otherwise it overheats.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, not really a whole lot. Or anything I can do to move quickly.
Do you like keep any like trinkets or anything from your like humble beginnings? Like just keepsakes that you're sentimental about?
I have a ring on a chain. It is from a special person.
Mm.
Ooh.
I will not say who from, but it is from someone.
Hmm.
Yes.
No, I was about to ask you who it was. So, but you're not going to say.
Are you human?
I believe I am.
I feel like the queen. Because, like, you literally had that card that was like, the queen thinks more of you than you of yourself. Like, does the queen know a secret about you that you don't know?
Probably. Yes. I'm gonna say yes.
I think it's fun if you say yes, honestly.
Yeah, it's more fun. It's more fun if I say yes.
Yeah.
She does.
She knows something. Do you and the queen spar?
We do.
I saw that, Jake.
Yeah, you can't take those quotation fingers past us, man.
I meant actual spar, because, you know, she has a big scary weapon, and Kit's character has a big scary weapon, but whatever.
We spar in the morning before breakfast.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like, since being part of the retinue, since sparring with the queen, is she pushing you?
Yes. She seems to be pushing every day, pushing me harder in training than the day previous.
Okay, Kit. Kit, okay. I'm good. Anyone else? Okay. Jake.
Who is this distant power you are traveling to, and why do they make you uneasy?
Ooh.
Well, we know it is Jerry's kingdom.
Jerry of Mudland, yeah.
Yeah, Mudland. Why am I uneasy of them? I'm uneasy of them because I'm uneasy of most people. But I think Jerry probably started on soon after my sibling passed, and so like this whole, even though they're not connected, the events of these empires negotiating and the death of my sibling, I connect them, and so I'm uneasy about most people. I would say I've probably spent a good deal amount of time with Jerry, and so you did it, Jordan. So
This is all you, man. None of us have brought up Jerry but that's me. I'm Jerry now. Jerry of Mudtown.
no, maybe it's what I affectionately call you.
Yeah.
Because I think we've probably gotten to know each other a bit better, and
Sure.
so maybe I'm not so uneasy of you, but of Mudtown.
Yeah, I guess you're in the tent where it happens, pretty much as much as I am.
Where the sparring happens.
Or the
I don't go to
sparring
the,
happens.
I don't go to the sparring tent. No. Okay. Well, my question was going to be for you, Jake. What was our first interaction like?
It was very suspicious. I think you were suspicious of, well, I don't know, but I imagine you were suspicious of me being a newly appointed advisor after one just died.
Yeah, I would probably say that I would find it just very strange that the advisor position, the position of of wisdom in all of the land, was hereditary. Like, what a gamble. You know what I mean? Like, I think that I thought that was extremely. I mean, I come from Mudtown, but I thought it was extremely backwards.
Yeah, so
Maybe it's not hereditary. Like, is it hereditary, or were you just, from the queen's perspective, the right person for the job?
Well, either way.
Because the queen seems to be someone of passions, and I feel like she kind of just like this now.
I want that person.
I didn't imagine it so much as hereditary as, we're probably like noble born or something, and so we got the right education, and we're both fairly educated, fairly smart. Obviously, my sister was much more so, and she initially got the job. But I imagine sort of a, first of class, second of class sort of thing.
Right. Okay. So on paper, you checked all the boxes for the job.
Yeah, but I'll never fill my my sister's shoes.
Right.
And I'd imagine. Well, I know because I know them. I was super uneasy of you. Just because you're a new person, and things were changing very quickly for me.
Was Jordan's character around for your sister's death? Do you suspect them at all?
No, I don't think I do. They showed up afterwards, and
it's just hard to tear those two things apart.
Yeah.
Or at least at the beginning, it was too hard to separate those two kind of ideas. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But getting to know you, I don't suspect you at all.
So the person I relate to the most is Kit's character, and the person you relate to the most is me. But it doesn't necessarily go the other direction. It's interesting.
So, you don't suspect Jordan's character, but do you suspect maybe his country being involved in your siblings' death?
Possibly, yeah, possibly, because they just happened all at once. So, a lot of mixed feelings, a lot of suspicions going on there through my head. I'd say the only reason I don't suspect Jordan's character is they were just I got to interact with them every day. If I saw them, once in a blue moon, and they had been there previous, I may have, but since they were there after, and they've been a source of a bit of comfort, I'd imagine seeing them every day, being able to talk to someone, I don't suspect them.
That's good, because I didn't do it, Jess.
I don't know. Like,
The timeline doesn't fit, Jess. You can't throw me under this bus.
I don't know you.
This time.
I don't know. You showed up right around that.
Usually when you murder someone, you leave immediately after. You don't turn up.
Unless that was literally like how you worked it out. You were like, oh, I'm gonna pretend like I'm not there yet. and they'll show up a few days later all like, hey, this is my first time ever walking into this place. I've totally never been here before. Not
right,
even
Jared
to
did it.
murder anyone. Like,
Jerry murdered her.
yep.
You got it.
He's a good advisor. No one said he's a good assassin.
The next card is when Jerry murdered murdered Jake's character's sister. It's a very specific card.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I don't think I got any other questions for now.
That's interesting. There's a part of you that does not want peace in this land. Why are you attached to the war? As much as I hate the war, and I do hate it, I think it brings out the best in my sister. Like, she is in her element and she thrives in it. In times of peace, she gets restless and is more likely to make bad choices. Like, she can be rash, but she's often right. Like, in this time, like, it is a very strong time for her. So I'm attached to the war only in that I see my sister thriving, and I want that for her and our kingdom. I don't love, like, if we could have peace and not see her lose that power, then I would be happy with it. But I think we've had a bit at some point, and it wasn't great. Like,
She's not a peacetime.
she's not a peacetime queen.
Yeah.
What did she do the last time a war ended? Like when there was a long stretch of peace, what was the last thing she did?
I think she like, she didn't know how to transition the kingdom. She didn't know, like, what people should be doing in that time. She didn't know how our, like, in times of war, everyone rallies to her and listens to her and believes in her, and she's very good at, like, delegating. And I think in times of peace, she doesn't know where to direct people, and she doesn't know what to do with, like, she has geared our kingdom so much to be so good at it, to be so good at, like, war, that it doesn't work as well out of it.
So she kind of, like, keeps the war machine going. Like, people are still making lots of weapons, and the military is training heavily, regularly, and that kind of stuff, just because that's what she knows.
Yeah, like, she has built our economy and, like, our systems around war, and she doesn't know how to undo that. Why are you giggling, Kit? What is going on over there?
Don't worry about it.
Oh no.
Put it in chat.
Oh no.
Do you do you think that she would change herself if it meant that she could handle the other side of the coin?
Change herself how?
Well, I just mean, do you think that her inability to handle peacetime, she knows is bad and she considers a weakness, or do you think that she's oblivious to it?
I think that she cannot see the problem from within. Like, I think she can't look outside herself and see how much it doesn't work. I think that's kind of hard to do, and, like, she just she kind of gets lost. If that makes sense.
Yeah, okay. But doesn't admit it to herself and doesn't think it's a problem.
It's not even that she doesn't admit it. She can't see it.
Right.
Like, she is so suited to one thing, and she's so good at one thing, and she just, like, gives it her all and goes into it. And then when it's not there, she has nowhere to direct all that she is good at, basically. Anything else? Are we all good?
That's all I got.
That makes absolute sense. That was rather straightforward.
So Jordan's turn.
The queen touched me once. What about the memory of that will stay with me forever?
Where on the doll?
So as I mentioned, I come from a place that's very pragmatic, and when you hear me speak, I make especially in a formal setting, I make a very limited number of things. I say the minimum number of things needed to convey the information that I want to get across. Because again, I need to get back to my sinking home or whatever. And so this was it was a very big meeting and a gathering of the diplomats and the various important people. Maybe it was just before we left. And I sided with the queen on something, which happens from some time to time, but this was a situation where she was maybe being overwhelmed a bit by the rest of the group. And I sided with her and defended her, or backed, I was in her corner on the decision that was being made. And afterwards, she kind of like grabbed my arm and squeezed it and said, "Thank you." Which is, it's just my job to make sure that things get done to the specifications of my country. But like, there would be no thank yous or you're welcomes in Mudtown because there's no time for that. You're either doing your job or you're not. And so I would say that let's say this was early on in my career as the diplomat to this queen, and it definitely colored my idea of her. It kind of split her down the middle in my mind, because there's this very straightforward person who knows what they want, and then there's like this person who took time to say thank you, which was really unnecessary. And so I have mixed feelings about it, I guess. Like, maybe it's rude to waste someone's time in Mudtown. Like, maybe it's rude, actually considered hugely rude. And so, but I'm living in whatever this country is, and so that was my first experience learning that people take the time to talk to each other about things that aren't work. So.
When in Battle Queen Land.
You can name it if you want.
Do as Battle Queen do. So you thought it was rude for the queen to thank you and appreciate you?
Well, I'm just saying, there isn't a lot of that gets exchanged, from where I come from. So it was really startling. And my queen's making her appearance. It was really startling and really...
She's touching you. She's touching you.
Ugh, she wastes my time plenty. Yeah, so it was just unusual, and it made me realize that I wasn't in Kansas anymore. Basically. I didn't hate it, and maybe that was a surprise to me.
Mm-hmm. So the part of the memory that'll stay with you forever is that it was your first, like, oh, this is a very different culture? It was
the first real culture clash with with her, and I realized that this is going to be a different kind of job than advising my monarchs. So.
You prefer one to the other, or and has that changed?
I definitely am excited to be back home, like Mudville excited, which is to not express any excitement at all. But I think I think Jake, if your character was to ask me if I would miss the gig, I'm hoping it's over. Like once I get back there, regardless of what happens, I'm hoping I get to stay. But if you were to ask me, you specifically were to ask me if I was going to miss the job, I would say yes.
So this was like the first real big culture shock for you, and you didn't love it, but you didn't hate it. What is something that was a culture shock that you do like from our kingdom?
I like the food. We eat a lot of tubers and hearty things that can
and mud.
We don't eat the mud. That's probably racist, to be honest. We eat a lot of simple food, turnips and that kind of stuff that can survive easily. And you have these oases, these kind of oases, I guess, that have so much delicious and colorful food that I abandoned my mom's home cooking long ago. Like within a few days of being in this post. Oh my god, she's so gross.
I was literally writing in chat that I love that you have to like rock your baby to sleep to get her to like stop bothering you.
I do. She gets like another minute of this and then I am going to put her down.
Oh my goodness.
Any other questions about Mudville and its
what is a culture shock that you actually did not like?
I honestly don't like. I actually don't like all the sparring and fighting and the emphasis on that. People die of all kinds of stuff that is out of their control in my land, and to like voluntarily stab at each other just seems like if an accident happens, we're down a person, and that's bad. And especially sparring on the trip when there's so few of us, it just seems. I would not be surprised if the queen has killed somebody by accident before, and for that to happen to her main guard, then who's gonna protect her? That's crazy.
Yeah, okay, but it's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's fun stuff, and then there's kind of, oh my god, there's kind of wrecking. Fine. Oh, Jesus.
I feel like maybe when the queen was like younger and newer and fresher to sparring, maybe she accidentally harmed or killed someone, but I feel like at her current control, she is like...
Oh, I'm sure that's absolutely the case. My perspective on it, Jerry's perspective on it, is that she's gonna hurt somebody. Yeah. She's gonna put somebody's eye out.
That's fair. That's fair that Jerry thinks. Chill out, Jerry. Jeez.
It's a good name. It's a solid name.
Calm down, Jerry.
Yeah, Jerry.
All right. Okay. Any questions?
I'm good.
All right. On to Kit.
You have a personal connection to the land you are currently traveling through. What makes you want to stay, and why don't you? Well, we're still in our country. I think we're actually not far from my village. So I would like to stay because it's home. And I have family and more friends here. don't want to stay because, well, I have a job to do, and I was picked specifically for it, and I can't let the queen down. It means too much. Even if it means seeing my family for an extra day.
I feel like you explained that pretty well. So you would like to stop here, but you don't. What family do you have here?
It would be my siblings and my mother.
So is your village a good place to stop and resupply? Would it make sense to like stay here for a little bit, or?
If we need supplies, we could get them here. Yes.
When we are done on this mission, will you come back to your village, or will you come back to the to the castle equivalent? Castle adjacent, the Queen's Lair.
It depends what is needed of me. If I am released of my service, then I will return. If I am needed back if I am required to stay by her side. Okay, bye. If I am required to stay by her side until the end of my time, then I will stay with her.
Do the people of you said village, right?
Yeah, it's a small village.
Okay.
So more than 50, less than 100.
Okay, what I was gonna say is, do the people of your village have any special characteristics? And the reason I say that is because there has been a secret side chat happening this whole time in, like, the Twitch chat, that the queen is actually a harpy and has wings.
Yes, so that is the question. Do we, from this country, do we all have wings?
It's funny because before that came up, I was trying to, like, that's why I literally tried to identify, like, are people human and stuff like that, because I wanted to, like, I was gonna start giving myself animal characteristics until I declared myself the queen's sister. Then I was like, well, I have to be whatever she is. Unless I'm, like, adopted or a half sibling, I guess.
She could just have, like, wings by divine nature, like, I don't know, maybe she was granted the power.
By royal line.
Yeah, I was wondering if, like, because in the picture it does kind of, like, you could kind of see that it almost looks like maybe she has, like, maybe that's just background and stuff like that, but you could define that almost as, like, black, yeah, almost as, like, black and gold tipped wings, almost, it looks like it could be. So does she have harpy wings? Do all of the people in our region have wings? Do we have different characteristics? Does only she have, like, only the royal line have wings? Like, does she have, like, these big badass, like, huge black raven wings, and I have, like, tiny little measly, like, sad little butterfly
cool
wings? Like, I don't know, like,
I think it would be cool if the royal line had wings.
mm-hmm.
That would be really cool.
I think it would be cool if, like, different people do have, like, interesting different characteristics, which is why I said, does your village have any special characteristics?
We have
Whiskers. Tails. Claws.
I've got 3 animal pins here.
You roll for parts. Roll for animal parts.
I'll roll for animal
Animals.
parts.
Kate and Chad said hawk eyes. That's a fun one.
Jake, are you hungry, bud?
Yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah.
have cat eyes.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
I like this. Okay. So your people have cat eyes.
Yes.
Okay.
How does your small village view the kingdom or the bigger cities of the kingdom, the capital? How does your village view?
They are a distance away. They are rarely seen. We don't deal with them unless merchants come through or caravans come through. So we have generations of families who have never seen the city. And there are people who are okay with that. Every so often, there'll be an adventurous child who moves from the town to the city and's never heard from again. And it's worrisome, but it's the way of the city. Tales from merchants that come through is cities are fast-paced metropolitan places with lots of people, so it's easy to understand why one small person from a podunk town could easily go missing.
That makes sense.
Who was the only person to come back? And what was different about them that you noticed?
The only person to have come back.
Like beyond merchants traveling through and stuff, someone who left, the adventurous child who left, who was the only one that came back?
It was a neighbor. And she went and was gone for 8 years and came back, and it looked like she aged years in that time. More than 8. Just due to stress and not being where she's comfortable.
So do you, as someone from this small village that seems to have a very harsh view of the city, do you think poorly of those of us in the retinue from the city?
No. You're from there. It's your life. You were born there. It's all you most likely know. If I had a choice, I wouldn't stay there,
Fair.
but I have a duty.
You were very duteous. Any other questions? Jake's your turn.
The queen had you punished once. What about the memory of that will stay with you forever? Oh,
Oh,
I feel like you've gotten some rough ones.
shoot! Lots happened. I gotta reread that one. What about Memoria that will stay with you forever?
And you could, don't forget, you could pass it on or exit.
I was about to say, so far none of us has passed a card.
Yeah, maybe.
It's up to you though. I'm just saying.
I'm gonna
if
keep
you
this
if you
one.
want okay, if you want your story to gear a certain way, then I was.
So I was punished once. It was something small, but you could tell she was very disappointed, and I was disappointed in myself. It was just an oversight, something my sibling wouldn't have missed in a million years. But it was early on in being an advisor. And it hit hard.
What was your punishment?
Punishment. That's hard. I feel like this queen wouldn't go easy on punishment. Oh man.
But you are her advisor, so like, what value to her would it be to like actually damage you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
If
exactly.
she's going to keep you as an
I wasn't-
advisor,
I wasn't harmed at all.
did she punish someone on your behalf? Like, did she?
Oh, that's so
do
much
that?
worse.
Yeah. Did she do that thing that like they historically sometimes did, where someone had to take your beatings for you, or
Lashes to someone in your family.
yeah, or like. I mean, it doesn't have to be physical either. You know what I mean? It could have.
I think it was.
Did she just publicly?
I think it was just kind of, yeah, it's public. I mean, like, whatever it was, the court, what have you, knew about it. But more so, she knew I was in an emotionally unstable state and just knew that any outward voicing of disapproval would just break me a little bit. And so she did.
She went the manipulative route.
A bit.
Did she do it to be manipulative, or did she do it just because she's a bit like she has a temper, or like?
I don't view her as manipulative. I just think it was she knows how to get to people. That's how she's gotten good at what she does. Partly, and she knew this would get to me, and sort of like the disapproving parent, but more extreme. And
She was disappointed.
I was gonna say, did she just like publicly in front of everyone in court voice that she was disappointed in you, and it was
Yeah,
like shattering?
that's what I'm imagining. Exactly that. And like, I was new on the job, and so it was just like, didn't know what my future held, wasn't sure about myself, and now a dozen people weren't sure of me either. So that was really hard.
I have a question.
Shoot.
Have you, since this happened, have you made that same mistake again?
No.
Have you made any mistakes that you weren't caught for?
Yes.
Have you just gotten better at hiding your mistakes?
I wouldn't say just, like, I've been more aware to not make mistakes, because more than anything, I don't want to let this position down. But
If a mistake happens, do you come forward with it immediately?
I have, but not always.
um.
I would say a lot of the mistakes that I have made have just been more mistakes of sort of negligence, sort of dismissing things out of irritation. And most of those happened early on. But you know, that bit of resentment still sits.
We've had a lot of like negative stuff from you. What is it about you that the queen appreciates? Because you are still in your position.
Mm-hmm.
And she is not. I don't think she's someone to suffer fools. Do you know what I mean? I don't think she would keep you around if she did not think you capable of the job.
Yeah, so I think I'm capable of the job, and she knows I'm capable of the job, and we have a good working relationship, and it, you know, it could go anywhere from here. She's a good queen to work for, and I enjoy it. So yeah, it's not a bad atmosphere. I love working with everyone. I still love the queen. I just, you know, for whatever reason, I still clutch some bit of trust issues there. And so yeah, she's a good ruler, and I enjoy, you know, serving her. Like, despite all the trouble that I've gotten in and gone through, I still don't think I'd trade it at this point.
Does anyone else have any other questions? I have one last one then. I'm trying to let everyone else have stuff, but no one's doing anything, so I'm just gonna keep going. What are you, pure plain human, or do you have an interesting characteristic? Do you have those pointy ears?
I mean, I suppose I should have pointed ears.
It's up to you though. And are they a feature of a specific animal? Because we have kind of gone like cat eyes, like bird
Animalistic?
wings. Yeah, or are they just? Are you from somewhere where like long, elegant features are very common?
Yeah, I'd say maybe our family has sort of these pointy-eared features. Maybe it's, you know, fawn-esque, but risk of pandering. But
Oh man, I was gonna say bats.
oh, that would be good too. But
That's pretty
like,
cool.
and so generally, like, my lineage, they're regarded as, you know, wise people, and that's part of the reason, you know, my family made sure I was to take the same course that my family has, just like becoming advisors, whether it's to the queen or other noblemen or what have you. Yeah, I do have pointy ears, and maybe some other features that I haven't quite figured out yet.
I like it. I'm like biting my tongue to not ask another question right now.
I'm sorry.
No. What? Don't. No. It's me. I'm the one that's like talking too much. I like fleshing out worlds. I'm sorry. But yeah, if no one has anything else, then we're going to take a break here. We're just going to take a quick like 10-minute break so that we can get up, get drinks, stretch our legs, all that good stuff. So thank you everyone who has been hanging out with us. Make sure you go get yourself a drink, go get yourself a snack, stretch your legs, all that good stuff. And we'll be back here in a few moments to continue with Follow the Queen. So, see you soon. Boom. we're back. Oh, hi. Fancy seeing you here. So,
Oh, hi.
last we left off, Jake was telling us sad stories, and Kit just wanted to go home. And actually, Jerry also just wanted to go home, but with some inappropriate touching also. This is what...
Just surprising touching. That's,
Not bad, just surprising. So that's a summary for anyone that just joined us. We were deciding that a lot of people around this world have at least one interesting characteristic or feature. I kind of want to know if Jerry has any, but I guess we'll have to wait until Jerry's turn to find out. Okay, I guess
Or is it a country thing?
yeah, is it just are we different continents? Like, are we going to a different, like, because it sounds like it's vastly different biomes. Like, okay, no, I'm gonna pull my card and then we'll see. Oh, interesting. You saved the
Yep.
queen's life once. How? I'm trying to think.
She's joking.
No. No, Kate. No, I refuse. Absolutely not. Trying to think. What do I wanna... Maybe... Dang, I'm trying to think. I'm almost thinking, like... How would I have done that? How would I have... Because I don't want to do anything where she was, like, defenseless or helpless or, like... Do you know what I mean? Because, like, I don't picture her that way. I don't picture, like... But then again, we are sisters, so this could have been something that happened when we were kids. Like, this could have been, like, a long time ago.
Maybe like her. Oh, can I suggest?
Yeah,
this?
you can
Or-
suggest things.
Okay. Maybe like early on, like she sort of showed her warrior spirit, like, and just like rushed headlong into a battle or a riot or something, and maybe you didn't completely like save her life, but like, you know, stopped her from getting herself killed.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually debating. Saying I saved her from whatever killed our parents.
Ooh. That's always good.
And that's when she came into power as queen. When our parents died. And I'm thinking that maybe, like, we actually, like, she has those big badass wings, and our parents had, like, big badass wings. Maybe I don't have wings, but maybe... I'm trying to think of how this would work. Maybe I have some sort of magic. So, like, the wings skipped me, but I was blessed in a different way. Oh, maybe I gave up my wings, Kate says in chat. Oh, no. I
Oh, to like-
lost.
Oh, and maybe like that was your first act at trying to avoid any sort of.
Yeah. Maybe I lost my wings saving my sister.
You're the young. Yeah, you have to be the younger sister for this to work, right?
I'm the younger sister.
Uh-huh.
I am the younger sister.
Maybe you were really young, and you had the wings,
Yeah.
but you gave them to her to save her.
A wing transplant.
Well, I don't know. They're like magical and metaphorical all at once, so you could maybe could have made a sacrifice like that.
A magical wing transplant.
Yeah.
A magical wing
Some
transplant.
sort of magical life-saving ceremony where you lost your wings and she gained some.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's hard because I neither want to do something that depowers her, but I don't want to do anything that causes me resentment to her because I do want to like love her. I was thinking more like what Kate's saying, that I shielded her from something. Like maybe we were, like I wrapped my wings around both of us, and they slowly burnt away until someone came in, like we were in like a fire, or.
I like that. That's tragic enough.
Some sort of some thing.
That's good. That's tragic.
That satisfies the tragic sad boy in me. So
Yeah, I think I wrapped my wings around her, both of us, like protectively, and by the time someone made it into the burning building, I don't know, to save us, or by the time the fire died down or whatever it was, my wings were too destroyed to be saved and they had to be removed.
I think it was like the throne room or something. Got firebombed by either some creature or.
Yeah. So I don't have wings. Dang it!
Creature.
I really wanted to have wings, but now I don't have no wings no more. Sorry, what were you saying, Kit?
Some Mudtown creature.
Ooh, no. Because then I would hate Jerry, and I don't think I hate Jerry.
You were young.
I hate
You don't
Jerry.
know.
I feel like her wings would have survived a mud attack.
A mud attack.
That's just me.
Yeah, I can't think of, like, what it was. Like, maybe just fire or something like that, but, like, or a creature of some sort. Like, is there dragons in this world? Like...
Is there dragons in this world?
I mean...
Jess, I have a question for you.
Oh no, what is it?
Is there dragons in this world?
Damn it! I don't know if there's dragons.
Is there maybe some fire reptile?
Yeah, like a giant, like a salamander kind of thing.
Maybe. I think maybe there's like elementals. Maybe there's like you know, water creatures in Mudtown and fire creatures in our land and air.
There is a para-elemental plane of mud, so we can have just straight up mud folks.
Mud folks. Actually, since we are, then again, I was gonna say, since we're sort of like bird folk of the, are we bird folk of the, bird and cat folk of the desert, and a fire folk from the fire, everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. Sorry. I had to double check I'm not wearing my Avatar shirt today. I think I wore it a day or two ago. Maybe that's when my sister became a pissed off battle goddess. Maybe we don't hate Mudtown because we're in it together against a third, more evil nation. Not evil, but you know what I mean. Not evil. I don't like the term like evil.
Just mean.
Yeah, like a more destructive.
Like really aggressive.
Yeah, a really aggressive nation who has done like unwarranted attacks and it was in one of those unwarranted attacks that they want our sand and mud.
They just want to make bricks.
Yeah, they just really, really want bricks. It was in one of those unwarranted attacks that our parents perished, and I lost my wings to save my sister.
And that explains why even at peacetime you want to keep fighting them.
Yeah, that's true. They've done a lot of harm to us. And me personally, and our family, and our country. But yeah, I don't have wings anymore. My sister does, but I saved her life. And I don't hold it against her. I don't. It's what happened. I reacted, and that's what happened.
Do you just have little nubbins? Do you have little wing nubs?
Maybe. Like, yeah, I imagine all the, like, anything, all the big exterior of them would have been, like, had to have been sort of, like, removed. It would have been the sort of thing where, like, there's a certain point to which you just kind of...
Yeah, because, I mean, if you have angel wings, it's that type of thing where it's built into your shoulders. It's kind of tough to take the whole thing out.
Yeah.
Really intense shoulder blades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, yeah, and I hang really cool cloaks on there. No.
Well, I was gonna say you might have like ceremonial ones, like.
Ooh, yeah, I might have like ceremonial ones I can put on,
Yeah.
and they're not, because I wouldn't be able to carry too much weight with just like that, so they'd have to be fairly light.
Yeah, like brass caps or something that goes over top, and then like a silky hanging thing. They're just the representation of the wings. They're not...
Yeah. So I do have like decorative, like prosthetic wings that I can put on for ceremonial purposes, but mine are gone.
Ceremonial purposes.
Is that what people call me in private? Is that like the mean little nickname that everyone calls me, Little Nubbins? Y'all are mean.
That's
It's little nublins.
Little
and,
Nublins. Rude. Y'all are rude. Yeah.
Princess Nublins.
No!
of the sand people.
Yep.
Do you ever regret your decision?
No. Not even a little.
Even though you could have wrapped your wings around your parents?
I couldn't get to them.
Hmm. Fair enough.
Like you're saying, do I ever regret? Because I could only have saved one person.
Yeah.
Do I ever
it'd be
regret
wrong.
not choosing my mother or my father?
You don't regret that?
No. I don't, and I believe, like, my parents would think I made the right decision, and
Right.
honestly, I don't even know if I physically could have done it. I could have tried and maybe not saved anyone. But I don't regret what I did.
Fair enough. No more questions for me.
Okay,
I'm good.
Jordan, your turn.
That was really good.
When did you know you were in love with the queen?
Bum,
Okay.
bum, bum.
After she touched you?
No. This is a surprise to me.
I mean, it doesn't have to, keep in mind, it doesn't have to be romantic love. And didn't you already get a card that specifically said you don't love the queen? So are these two different kinds of love, or is this like, you can allow, like, you know what I mean? Like, you can make this like...
I don't think it said it was, I don't love the queen.
But you did say earlier
Yeah, I
you don't
declared
love
that
the queen. You
You declared. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna X this one.
That's fair.
Do I just leave it here and draw another one? Is
Yeah,
that the
just draw
idea?
another one, put it over top.
What part of this journey will be the most difficult? How do you pull the rest of the retinue through it? All right. This is more, I think, in league with where I've been going. The border between the sand dunes and the mud pits is tumultuous. You talked about elementals, and that's exactly what we're up against, is raw elemental power that kind of forms a border between our it's sort of, yeah, let's say the elemental planes are weaker at the edges of our lands, and where two edges meet is tumultuous at best. So sand and dust and sunlight meets mud and dreary skies and rain. And there is just constantly crumbling and reforming landscapes all along the edges of our fantastical kingdoms. And so basically the whole reason I got sent was to transport the thing that allowed people to cross back into the muddy place, the swamps. Basically, you need a tether of some kind that drags you through safely, forms a gateway, forms kind of thing. So your kingdom would have sent someone to collect me from the border in the same way, because there has to be a receiver on the other end. And so, yeah, I've just got this thing. It's a key, you know, it doesn't look like a key, but it's the key to getting from one place to another. And it was like, literally, it amounts to that. If we could fly that, I had flown that over to you, I would not have to have done this job. But ceremony and protecting it and all this kind of blah, blah, blah means that someone had to actually transport it, and it was me. So it's hanging around my neck. I keep it visible to everyone. It's like it's an idol. It's an amalgam of both places. So a stone, a sand. Well, I guess it could be made out of glass because sand and glass are the same thing. So like, it's a glass container that has, you know, like maybe like an hourglass, and then there's mud on one side and sand on the other, and they kind of just, when we pass through the barrier, they switch.
Is there one of these for each of the crossings between each of the sort of elemental shifts? Is it always the same sort of idea where like the two different elements have to combine, or is it different for each place? Or do we not know because we don't bother traveling to the other areas? Because F all those other elements.
The area that you are traveling from has to shield the area that you are traveling to, either symbolically or physically in the thing. So to transition from sand to mud, you need a glass bottle filled with mud. But on the other way back, it's a hardened mud container filled with sand.
So we're not just countries. We're almost entirely different planes.
Yeah.
Much love, my friend.
We're perhaps even in the elemental planes, and yeah, the magical barriers where we collide. Our realms are both infinite and finite. They have edges and borders, but also can go on forever. And yeah, so I've just got the navigational key that will get us from one place to the next. And literally, it pulls everyone through. Once I move through, it just drags anyone that I choose to the other side.
Is there any of us you wouldn't choose?
No. I mean, again, the Gold Sovereigns show up in my tent every fortnight, and there's only the 5 of us, the Queen and us. And
yeah.
Okay. No, I would lose my job and any favor I had with mine if I left anybody behind.
I don't know, I was trying to...
I've got a question, but it doesn't really...
You could ask it. I mean, it's up to you if you don't want to, though.
I have large eyes that have the second lid. That's the question at the end. I've got really big eyes that have the second kind of glassy lid that goes over top so that I can.
Oh, so like a lizard.
Yeah, but it's raining a lot and the mud and stuff.
It protects your eyes.
Yeah.
So you.
And
Like
I've got
you don't have them out
I'm
all
like
the
a toad.
time.
I have like a very wide mouth,
Ooh.
and I've got
You're like a
I'm gonna
toady
say-
wart face.
huh?
Nothing that's from a thing. It's cool.
Toady wart face.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, sure. Whatever helps you imagine it. I've got a wide mouth, but I've also got these kind of gills, like mud skipper gills. So there, now you know.
That wasn't going to be my question, but
I was so glad you answered that anyway. I'm so glad. I'm really glad you, and that's a good one too.
I'm a froggy boy. Jerry's a froggy boy.
Is everyone from your country froggy, or are there like a wide variety?
Uh,
Because our area has been pretty mixed.
no, Mudtown is really universally froggy faced. Various different kinds of toads and frogs, but generally the same features, designed to really just. Our ancestors wallowed in the mud, and now it just bugs us. What was your question, Kit?
more of a plainer question.
Apparently, we're allowed to ask anything.
Well,
Okay. Well,
I am the
I don't
keeper
even-
of that information, I guess, for the group. Like I know.
I don't even know how to phrase it.
I want to know. I want
Yeah.
to know. I just want to know what this question is now.
This would be more of a D&D question. So.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm not even going to bother with it.
Aww.
Because I don't even know how to...
If you think of it, send it to me in the chat. Send it to us in the chat. Any other messages or questions for Froggy Boy?
I'm glad to hear this about Froggy Boy. Have you grown to like our queen more? You said you respect her. I'm just trying to think because you did have that like question about love, but we X'd it. So I almost kind of wanted
Yeah,
to
no,
know.
I think that she's incredible, and like as far as leadership goes, I think that she's got too much energy. She's got too much like brash decision making, but I think that that's the way the world is going.
Yeah.
So I would much prefer my queen to be more like her. Maybe not completely like her, but
Ooh, I have a question. Since our royal bloodline has like wicked ass badass like wings, does your royal bloodline have like a wicked ass feature that isn't just the toady wart face?
Most of us have lost our webbed fingers.
Ooh.
But the royalties still maintain a lot of the more animalistic things that we used to have. So they've got webbed fingers, so they've got kind of like grippy hands,
Ooh.
and so it's not quite flight, but they can climb.
Ooh.
Like it's they just
Can
have
they
this.
swim real good too?
Yes, yeah, in the mud, like through the thicker waters
Cool.
of Mudville, they can. Yeah, it's kind of strange because it would, to other cultures, it would maybe seem beneath to still be able to wallow in the muck, But for us, it ties us back to what we used to be before we were like terrified of sinking, It also means symbolically that our queen can't ever sink. She can always find her way back up to the surface. So the royalty is always protected by their webbing and their ability to swim.
That is very cool. I really like that.
It was a good question. Thank you. Thank you for coming to my Frogman TED Talk.
Toad Talk.
Toad Talk. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, I'm good. If we want to let Kit have a turn.
Yeah, I think
once.
that's good.
Going twice. Okay.
What do you do to disappoint your queen on this journey?
Why?
Oh,
I'm getting so many negative ones. There's some
I know.
really positive ones in here.
I just want to get a positive one.
Really.
I'm gonna X that. I don't.
Yeah. She picked you specially. I feel like it goes
Yeah.
against your story. She sees more in you than you see in yourself. I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like this is a good one to X. Oh, interesting.
What makes the queen ugly in your eyes?
And this obviously doesn't have to be physical.
Okay. She is always on the move. She always has that mind of someone who's in the city. Never looking past what is the next step. It's always 2-step, 3-step, 4-step further, never taking time to sit back and view for herself. Always relying on others to sort of advise when she could just hold back her actions. And view and observe. To me, that's really ugly and harsh. It was less of a physical quality, it's more of a mental thing that's ugly. She doesn't like that. If anything, that's something she needs to work on to be a better queen.
And you think this is a negative characteristic towards her as a queen? Or do you think, like, this is just a negative characteristic towards her as a person, but being a few steps ahead is good for a queen? Or you think, you were saying...
As a person. Because if she's always too far ahead, she's never in the moment.
And you
She's
think,
never living in the present.
and you think not being in the present, not being in the moment, opens her up to, like, immediate weakness? Like, immediate...
Yes. Because she's never present and looking around her. Because you should always stop and smell the roses.
Is this something that you've exploited when you are sparring with her? Like, is this something that is...
It is absolutely something I have explored. Because if she's trying to look 5 moves ahead, one change in tactic, and that puts her off her move.
Similar question, but about Jerry. You could say my frog-like features, but I think that's too easy.
It's his frog-like features. They're not apt for the savanna that we all live on. He thinks it's too moist.
Thanks for that.
Jerry is too moist.
He's a great guy. He's just too moist.
I really like Jerry.
He's just...
He's cool, just too moist. It's really dry here, it's unfortunate.
Yeah. The moisture's just kinda icky. Because then you got sand on you because you're so sticky and like. Love it.
I don't like water.
Do you think this plays into why she wanted you as her guard? Because you are so in the moment and she is so out of it, and she needed someone like you to be there and protect her in the moment while she's not paying attention?
I have a feeling that plays a big part.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I can be in the moment and then she can be wherever the frick she wants.
Seems fair. Seems legit. Anyone else? Jake? Get a good one.
Yeah, if I have to, I will excellent. Cause
Yeah, that's fair.
I need a good one.
Yeah, you do. You need a reason to love the queen, like, seriously.
I mean, that might. How does the queen remind you of her status while on the journey? I'm gonna X that one. I feel like she doesn't need to.
Fair.
Let's just see.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll make it happy. The queen knows something about you that no one else does. What is it? Well, now I'm fairly guarded, but as advisor and being close to the queen, our families, I imagine, were pretty close. We knew each other, and we were very close. The queen knows, things I enjoy, games I like to play, my favorite books. And I don't think she says it because she doesn't, I don't think she wants to reveal any sort of like vulnerability, but I think the, Queen cares for me, in that sense. I may have distanced myself, but the Queen picks up on that, and she definitely tries to know as much as she can about me, not in like a surveillance stance, but as in like someone who cares about you.
Do you think, so the queen doesn't seem like anyone who regrets much, but do you think that she regrets what happened to your older sister?
Yeah, I think so. I think if anyone misses my older sister as much as me, it would be the queen.
Because you're so crappy at the job.
Yeah, because I'm so crappy that she's like, I just wish I had my best advisor back.
No.
No, but because they loved each other.
Do you think she ever looks for your sister in you? Do you ever catch her looking at you too long, perhaps, or anything like that?
Oh, shoot. Perhaps. I think she definitely, she sets aside, you're not your sister, and that's okay. You're you, and I still respect you and as an advisor. And But yeah, I definitely think so. She probably, every once in a while just thinks back and what could have, what if my sister had all these years back and they had all that time together.
Mm-hmm. So do you think, were they romantically in love? Or did they just, like, love very deeply, like, platonically, or, like...
I think just platonically, as far as I know.
As far as you know.
As far as I know.
Is that, like, as far as the kingdom knows? Was there talk, though, in the kingdom? That, like, there was something there between them?
Yeah, I think any time anyone gets especially close to the queen, there's talk, and my sister was definitely close enough with the queen for there to be talk.
So our older sisters were very close. Are we connected because we're both younger siblings to important people?
I think we share that, even though I'm clueless, I think we share that, that bond of we didn't want this responsibility. Of course we like enjoyed our privilege and whatnot, but we didn't want, I didn't want to be an advisor, you don't want to be queen. And for a few reasons, wish things were different, and we share that, and even if that wasn't explored.
I've probably asked enough questions.
I personally can't think of any.
The queen seems. I mean, there's only 5 of us, like we've mentioned. The queen's probably very aware of, the emotions that are kind of being tossed around. So, Jake, do you think that the queen knows about what Jess's character feels about you?
Does my character that doesn't know think the queen knows?
I'm asking. I guess I'm asking Jake.
Oh, okay.
Your character doesn't know shit, I guess, but yeah.
Your character doesn't know. Fuck off.
Don't know Jack.
I think the queen picks up on a lot, and probably definitely picks up on that. I mean, I don't know how.
I'll refine the question a little bit. Do you think has the queen ever wink wink and nudge nudge suggested to you this concept and you kind of brushed it off? Like, has that ever happened?
Yeah, I think it would have. I think the queen's forward enough, she would have, and my character probably has it in their back of their mind, but
like, why would she say that? Why would she bring that up? That's ridiculous.
That's weird, but like occasionally, like just off in their own mind thinking maybe, but then just it's too much to think about.
And it's not queen business, so it's not royal business, so it needs to go away.
Focusing on my career.
Amazing. Oh man.
I guess I will say like that little spark, like the queen being like, oh, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, feeling like that sort of, relatability, with someone who's not been through the same thing, but been through some trauma, doesn't want to doesn't want to be part of like in the spotlight. It's definitely opened them up a bit. Their guards down a little bit. It's just that familiarity is something that's really nice to have.
Mm-hmm. Good. No further questions? Oh no. You sometimes think you might be the queen's favorite. Why? And why does that worry you? I mean, I literally have nubbins because I saved her life. I grew up with her. I think I put up with a lot of her shit, but I also call her out on more shit than I think a lot of people do because I'm her sister and I can get away with that and I won't get
I have a question that might guide this. Does she know that you are the one who saved her?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Did you think she was, unconscious when it happened?
All of a sudden, why don't you have wings?
Yeah.
She could think that because she was the next in line or something, she could believe that there was something else that saved her. It could be just interesting that she didn't realize it was you.
No, she knows it was me. She was...
That's why I asked.
Yeah, she was... I think that moment when we were attacked and we all almost died and our parents did die and I saved us at the cost of my wings is one of the only times where I reacted and she froze. And since then she only became more determined and more fierce and doesn't want to ever have her guard down like she did in that moment because she was the older sister and she should have saved me and she didn't.
Is she overprotective of you?
I mean, I didn't even finish answering the other question yet.
Right, sorry.
It's okay. I just, I wonder, is she overprotective of me, though? I think maybe, but I think she also doesn't let on. I think she is, but she really, really, really hides it because she views showing that as a weakness.
Right.
So I am her favorite. I think that's not in question. It's not, you sometimes think, I'm her favorite. Hands down. Arguably, Jake's sister, for a period of time, might have taken the spotlight in her eyes for a while. But that is gone. Does this worry me? A bit. I want her to have someone else in her life to guard and protect other than me. And I feel like she shouldn't have to feel like she needs to guard and protect me anymore. I feel like I've done more than enough to show that I'm sufficient. I've saved her, even though it was years ago. And even though I am not, as fierce as her now. or anything like that. And I want her to find something else and focus on something else, because I don't know. She needs to be good at something other than war. I love you, but you need to be good at something other than war. God damn it. War isn't the only thing to be good at. So yeah. Anyone else?
Did your character suspect anything between your sister and my sister?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I feel like I walked in on them making out one time or something, and I just like closed the door and walked back out. Just like, like. But I also like supported her in everything she did, and I think I really I supported her in that, because I think it's one of the few times since the loss of our parents that she showed like love and a tender side. And she hardened again afterwards.
What simple thing does your sister do with you that she would not do with anybody else?
She
what's the most?
She likes to help me with my ceremonial wings, and she every birthday gets me a new set of wings, more grand than the last set.
Right. That's her yearly thank you for saving her life.
Are they specially made for you?
Yeah. I don't know how many other people have lost wings in our kingdom.
Yeah, you have to be royal to have them in the first place.
You know what? But I do think
Right, we did figure that out.
I was gonna say Kid, I actually do like the idea that there's some people in for special occasions, and in the royal court and stuff, there's special occasions where people will put on false ceremonial wings, but they aren't putting them onto former wings. They are building them on, they have to wear elaborate back braces and things to wear them. We are the only ones with actual wings. Yeah, but she never helps anyone with anything, and I think even as it is, she does it behind closed doors. You know what I mean? It's not, she doesn't help anyone with anything, and
she sends handmaids away or whatever in order to help you.
To help me put my wings on.
I like that.
Mm-hmm. Only she can do it.
That's cool.
Sweet. I like it.
Adorable.
It's the one cute, sweet thing our queen does. And she does it in secret, so no one knows she does this cute, sweet thing.
It's all war, battle, fight. Here, let me help you with this. Oh, fight.
Yeah.
I feel like she has obviously really kind heart, but she only lets out in small little,
very small
little
ways.
bits,
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that your sister brought it out in her. She shows it to me a bit, and your sister brought it out more, and then less since then.
That's so sad.
Yeah. Our queen is very sad, you guys.
What have we done?
Oh no. Oh. Yep. Anything else? Or Jerry?
Jerry the Frogman. All right, let's see what I got here.
What? Oh.
All right.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
Well, it does counter all the ooh, he's slimy and covered in sand from a few
But I
turns
mean,
ago.
it could be like interesting. It could be exotic. You are like new and
Yeah,
like
maybe it's more of a like a. Yeah, I stick out, and the eyes, though kind of big and watery, are kind of striking, and maybe we're like colorful, a little colorful too, like some rainforest toad frog type colors here and there. How does the queen make me question this perception? It's really turned around. This is really turned around how I thought of this guy. Because she touched him, even though he was
But
slimy.
once again, it doesn't have to be physically beautiful. Like, do you have like a characteristic that no one in our land typically has? Like, do you show and that could is that also a reason why you and Kit get along so well? Because Kit is from one of the few places in our kingdom where people like slow the heck down and appreciate things.
Yeah, so maybe I have a maybe I've got like the throat thing that frogs and toads and stuff have. And I croak, but there is a like, and it's usually when I'm thinking or when it's just like breathing, and it's not quite a purr, but it is a very pleasant. It's a very pleasant kind of rumble that tends to soothe the people that are around me, and maybe that's why I was considered for the diplomatic mission, because I have this soothing croak rumble song. The queen whenever it starts to go for a little too long, she always asks me a question, and when I'm talking, it doesn't happen. And so I think personally that she thinks that I'm doing it on purpose, which I'm not, but everyone kind of gets a little lost in the sound or whatever as it's happening, and so she always interrupts any steady amount of my weird croak song. If she's around, she always asks a question. If it's me and the guardian here, Kit's character, there's long periods where we're just smoking and I'm smoking and croaking,
Oh, the old smoke and croak.
The old smoke and croak while we wait for our next assignment.
Gotta love that smoke and croak.
Yeah, it's what we bonded over, and yeah, she just always interrupts it. This is weird, but that's what I could come up with.
That's interesting. I like it. That's really cool.
Maybe it works on her too, and she doesn't like it.
Maybe it what's on her? Oh,
so like the kind of the lulling. Like
yeah.
Bugs and creatures when they're outside your window and you're hearing them, it's kind of pleasant.
Yeah.
So this is the idea.
No, I like that. Like it's a like kind of like when it's like when you're like near a pond and it's raining and you hear some like the really nice like frog noises and stuff like that.
It
You
makes
don't
her
fit in here, but I like you.
It makes her mind slow down, and she doesn't like that.
Yeah, like if she like notices herself like chilling out too much, she's like, "This is too relaxing. How dare you!" So you make people relax unintentionally with your like
with my
noises and
soothing
demeanor
croak.
and like your sweet soothing frog
Yeah,
purrs.
I'm not nearly as sexy as this frog that Kate sent. This one handsome frog.
Fair enough.
Any more frog or frog related questions?
What's the original one?
So it's unintentional. You never do it intentionally? It's never like
No,
intentionally
it's just
musical?
it's like a cat purring, and when I'm comfortable or calm, it's just something that happens.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
Sorry, we're being raided. Thank you for the raid. Welcome,
Hello,
welcome,
everyone.
welcome on in, raiders. You came in just as Jordan was telling us about his froggy purrs that his character
There's
does.
the smoke and croak that he does.
The old smoke and croak, which...
The puff
you
and
know.
puff. The puff and puff.
Puff and puff.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm a frogman from Mudtown.
Welcome
My
on in,
name is
everyone.
Jerry.
Yeah, we're playing For the Queen, which, in case you don't know it, is a GM-less, prep-less, prompt-based storytelling game in which we are all part of the Queen's retinue, and this amazing lady right here is our badass battle queen, and yes, I'm trying to think if I have any questions for Jerry. You're considered beautiful, so what do you mean?
Do you is your croak more of a high pitched or a lower pitch?
It's a low rumble. It's like it would be like a gentle rumbling of like a small engine or something. It's not high pitched. It's more just a
Is your croak... Sorry. Were you done answering that question?
yeah.
Okay. Is your croak specially characteristic back home? Or, like, this is only special, like, here in our lands, where no one has, like, that froggy croak? Or,
No, it's like most of the mud frog folk have that, and when we get our gatherings tend to our meetings and our gatherings tend to go long because we all kind of lull each other into these sleepy frog naps that it's not, but we don't put each other to sleep. It's just a soothing sound that is in between the moments where we're talking. No, I'm the only frog.
We all have different features. We decided we live in kind of an elemental world. So I think Jordan, you were writing it in our private chat, that like it's almost like mixed planes. So ours is almost like sand and fire, and yours is kind of like water and earth or mud.
Yeah.
So I like the idea that there's sort of like
where
mixed.
the four elements, the borders where they meet, they form these para-elemental planes that are like mud, dust, ooze, and magma, I think.
Mm,
So
yeah, I like that.
So we're kind of in Dustland and Mudland.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah. I want Mudland to have frog bands now. Like,
Yeah,
really
everyone plays
awesome.
the banjo. Everyone plays the banjo and wears a straw hat.
Or the
The jug.
the jug, yeah.
The jug. You guys
Or
are all just like
alternatively-
Cajun. Like, you guys are all just like.
Or alternatively to Kate's thing, if we're all in like old-timey jalopies and are dressed really nice and have mole friends. Like
Yeah,
Mr.
could be
Toad.
both.
Yeah. There's a class system of Mr. Toads and then jug band frogs.
And now apparently your entire people are just like Kermit, and your main song is.
Yes. Mudland has not seen a rainbow in a very long time.
It would be very special if Mudland saw a rainbow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Someday we'll find it.
Is that another way to cross between the planes? The rainbow connection?
The rainbow connection, yeah. The lovers, the dreamers, and Jerry. All right, I think I've taken a long enough turn, unless there are any... Yes, they do. Photo guy, they do have flaily arms. Okay. Any other questions?
I'm good.
All right.
No.
I'm good.
The kit's your turn. Ooh. Is this with a specific...
The queen trusts me, but no one else in the court trusts me. They don't trust me because I'm not noble born.
Oh.
Is that referring to us? Are we the royal court, or could this
No.
be a back home or something like that?
Back home. The court back home doesn't trust
Yeah,
me.
we're the retinue. We're not necessarily part of the royal court.
Yeah.
Do you think I trust you? Since I am part of the royal court?
I don't care. I truly don't care.
Ooh, I like that.
My character doesn't care.
I like it.
My job isn't to protect you.
Mm-hmm. I think that... Sorry, go ahead.
No, I wasn't going to say anything.
You don't care about anyone in the court not trusting you, aside from, like, does the queen... Like, because the queen lifted you up. Like
Yep.
you have said, like, this is this isn't a position you even really wanted. Like, so is this partially due to the fact that just, like, her absolute trust and belief in you is such
Yes.
that you need nothing from anyone else?
Yes. The fact that she trusts me and she chose me for this job and gave me this duty to her, it does not matter to me what others think because I was picked above anyone else for this job. And my duty is to her and no one else.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Do we get along? You and I?
I would say we get along because I am with your sister about as much as you are with her.
Mm-hmm.
So I am always cordial. I have no reason not to be.
I think we get along too. I honestly think this card dictates that I have to not trust you, but I think that is simply to say that I assumed there was someone better for the job because it was so out of place for her to lift you up and, like, make you her special, like, guard and everything like that. But I think, like, I believe in her so fully, and I think that she makes good calls and she saw something in you, and so because of that, like, I perhaps did not, initially believe you were the best person for the job, but I think you've shown yourself extremely capable.
Mhm.
I think we get along. I appreciate you, because you seem to be here to protect my sister.
Yay.
I like that about you.
That's what you appreciate about me?
That's what I appreciates about you. Anyone else? Questions for Kit? The guardian whom you do or do not trust?
Yeah, can I ask, I guess, what do you think about me, or just the position of the advisor? What did you think of my sister?
The original advisor was very good at her job, and the new advisor is young and inexperienced.
Those are both accurate.
It is not my job, and it is not something I am qualified in to make judgments. As a person, the old advisor was pleasant, and the new is guarded
Hmm.
for obvious reasons.
I like this because you didn't say anything like mean. You didn't say anything like. You know?
I will say that being the first to see the old advisor and see her death was upsetting because I was in the room and I couldn't stop it.
That's right. We dictated that very early on.
Can we just like ask him what happened?
I don't know. You can ask.
Can I-
He doesn't have to
can I ask
answer.
you?
He can
what
X
happened?
your question.
Yeah, that'd be perfectly fine.
Yeah, I will answer. It's been asked. There was a poison dart shot through a window, and it missed the queen and hit the advisor.
And nothing could be done.
It happened really fast.
Was. Oh.
The card said that the queen was responsible for their death.
Well, just in that she was the target.
I guess so.
I think that's legitimate.
Did the queen and her like battle awareness give her that just split second she heard it coming or something like that and
Like
stepped
she
aside?
couldn't help but react and get out of the
Yeah.
way.
Yes.
Gosh.
Oh, no.
That's so much worse.
That's so bad.
Yeah, it's not like your
She
sister dove
loved
on the
her
bullet.
too.
No, it's like she's. Oh man, this is.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Why am I like this?
God. I'm so upset for my sister right now.
I don't know what to process.
Oh my god. Oh no. I'm actually really upset.
I thought I was upset with you.
Oh.
Now am I upset with the queen?
Oh no. I feel like I can't help but feel like the queen must like really.
I imagine she started another war.
That's what
shortly.
I'm wondering. I'm like I feel like the
Oh, I don't like this. Let's
I feel like the queen
Feelings.
Yeah.
War.
Yeah, I feel like the queen started, and I agree. I feel like the queen started. That was one of the short times of peace.
Would you? I'm certain my character would have asked you. Would you have told my character, what you just told us?
No.
Oh, that's fair. That makes sense.
Wow.
Which goes to partially why he's untrusted.
Yeah.
Mm,
hmm
Rough stuff.
that's really, really rough. Oh my god, I feel
Let's
so
hope I get a
bad.
happy card.
Yeah, please do. Please get a happy card for all our sakes, please.
It's a rough. But
I'm crossing my fingers for you, Jake.
I know.
Oh, is it-
I really want you to have a happy card.
what's your worst memory of the queen?
No.
Like what? I feel like we've been over this.
No, please.
Please be good. Please be good. What is
Please.
it? What do you do for the queen that anyone else can do? And why does she make you do it? Let's make.
Tie her shoe.
um. I'm gonna say the queen probably knows obviously knows I'm inexperienced, and so sometimes gives me tasks to do, things, and ask my opinion on things she's probably already decided, but just to like in an attempt to boost my confidence, whether it works or not, it's hit or miss, but I I think she tries in that sense, so she has me do somewhat simple things that obviously anyone could do, but she wants to ask me, so I feel some sort of purpose.
Is that's why she does it? Is to make you feel purpose? Do you know, and do you feel belittled by it, or do you not know and appreciate it, or do you know what I mean?
I think I know, but I also see where she's like, I see the gesture she's trying to make. So whereas I'm like, well, crap, I guess I am useless. I still appreciate the gesture. Yeah.
So you do appreciate the gesture. Does she do it out of love of your sister? Like, does she treat you better?
Because, like, in reverence of my sister,
Or do you not know?
oh man.
I'm starting to understand why you were promoted.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I asked the question
This
if
is
you
fun.
ever catch her staring at you.
Yeah. Probably it's something like I suspect, but I don't like to think about because I don't like feeling worthless and
I mean,
But-
I don't think she would keep, like, once again, we've said this before. She would not keep a useless person on staff. And furthermore, that's like in the court alone, but you're also in the retinue on like a mission with only a few very important people, I guess. Although I don't know why I'm here. What do I do? Anyways, let's step away from that one.
yeah, we're all like, wait, what? Oh,
Why are you here?
What are you here? Anyways,
I don't want to make it sad.
So she asks you just small things to which you think she's already decided.
What was the last thing she made you do?
What's the last thing she made me do?
The most recent thing, I guess.
Well, I suppose you planned the trip. The last thing she had me do would probably, would probably be like adjacent to planning the trip. It was already done. You had it taken care of.
Yeah, she had you folding napkins or something.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
maybe did she have you making like slight modifications to make it slightly more to her tastes? Like, cause Jerry couldn't help but make it a little bit too toady. Or
Yeah,
do you know
I
what the queen
suppose
likes? Do you like?
What?
Are you
Like,
very aware of her? I don't know. Feelings, opinions, preferences.
Yeah, and so I feel like I probably helped arrange that. Maybe made some modifications in the long haul. They might not have been super important, but they were important to her at the time, so I did them. And it's what I think my sister would have done, and I understand she's very like strong-willed, and so I understand she's gonna have a lot of stuff decided already, but I'm there to maybe level things out. So maybe Jordan's character was very practical, pragmatic, and maybe the Queen's was a more extravagant trip, and I sort of,
Middle
found
ground.
a compromise. It wasn't anything, world ending, but it was something that I could do.
That makes sense. Do you like do you like traveling? Do you like being like on the road and doing this trip more, or do you wish you were back home in court?
I probably like being back home at court because there's, I'm still of that a bit of that mindset of like, I wish I didn't have this responsibility. And, you know, in the city, there's a lot of people on the court. Yeah, I'm the advisor, but I'm not by any means the end word on anything that happens. But here I am one of four, and that's a bit much, but so yeah, I wish I was back home a bit. I enjoy the company for the most part, but I do wish I was back home.
Okay. I think that's all my questions.
I have none.
Interesting. You saw the queen do something terrible to keep the retinue safe. What was it? Did you come to respect her more or less afterwards?
Whoa.
Ooh.
Trying to think. Something terrible she did to keep the retinue safe. I'm not sure. Does anyone have any suggestions? I'm like thinking like
Well, what happened to us, or what was about to happen to us? We start from that.
Bandits.
yeah. Did
Yeah,
she murder a whole bunch of bandits like by herself, and it was rather gruesome, and like we were like, that might be overkill, like that was too much, or like, but that doesn't make sense because like Kit would have helped with that for sure.
Yeah.
That's why I'm trying to think of like something that she alone did. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm trying to think of like, did she
Maybe at night she scouted ahead.
I was gonna say the same thing. I wonder if she flew on ahead. Because her wings work. So, like, did she put herself in danger? Like, did she fly on ahead and then...
Maybe she got hurt.
Yeah.
Maybe she got restless and she went looking for trouble and came back saying that she was protecting us. And all she wanted to do was just blow off some steam.
There's that. That would align with everything that we know about her.
Like we would stumble upon the wrath that she wrought, like a few hours into the trip in the morning, and she'd have to explain herself.
Sorry, so what was the one you said again? You said she...
Well, just that she went and stirred up trouble. There wasn't actually going to ever be an ambush or anything like that, but she went and...
Essentially kicking the hornet's nest.
Yeah.
picked a fight.
I wonder if we were getting close to the, elemental plane shift, the rift, and she went looking for monsters to fight.
Yeah.
And in doing so, like, she went for, like, one small thing to, like, beat up and almost accidentally brought a whole bunch of baddies at us. But fought them off, got injured, and made it back to us. And said it was to keep us safe. But like you said, she went looking to do, like, a small fight to, like, appease her anger.
Yeah, maybe I
fightiness.
I know the creatures that are around here a little better, and I was like, well, they wouldn't have done anything to us if 5-minute detour and we.
Well, but I think she did do so. I think because, like, partially because I want it, and partially because the question entails it. I think that she went to go, cause shit, like, do a small fight, and then did accidentally come upon a bigger bad that would have done us harm.
Sure.
And did fight that one, but in doing so, that one was too much. And she got hurt, but made it back.
That sounds like something she would do.
Yeah.
What was the big bad? What did it look like?
Guess what was it?
Well, because we've said there's some elemental monsters and stuff like that, so I'm trying to think, like...
To the DMG.
And we're getting close to the elemental border.
Yeah, like, we're getting close to the elemental border, and there was, like, she went to go fight some, like, small, bitey, snappy things. Like, some, like, there's some, like, little, like...
Sand vipers, that's a thing.
Really? I'm thinking, like, these weird little, like, things with only one or two legs, because they kind of, like, just jump, hop. I was trying to say jump, hop. And they have, like, one big they're very simple creatures. They have, like, one big snappy mouth, and so they're very simple systems of, like, just bitey, like, maybe they bury themselves in either the sand or the mud, and they
Like
do,
an
like,
ant lion.
and they do, like, little, they do snaps on things, but they're a little bit bigger. They're, like, maybe, like,
A giant ant lion.
Well, yeah, sure. A giant ant lions. They're, like, cat-sized. Small cat-sized. Or maybe even dog-sized. I don't know. And they have bitey, snappy...
with a crocodile snout.
Yeah, I like that. So they hide in either the sand or mud, and they kind of, like, bury down, and they do snappies on things. So she went to just go, like, beat some sand-dial ant lions.
Creatures.
I don't know. Maybe they are, like, mean, though. I don't know. But she was looking for trouble. She was being a jerk, and then something much, much bigger.
Like a big stompy boy?
A big, like, round with 8 legs, like all in different places, and they just like do big mean stomps. They tried to do a big stomp on her. And I feel like it has something that, like, I don't know, has like vine whip attack or something, because it was able to pull her out of the air and bring her down and try and do stomps on her.
Yes, but rock type attacks are strong against flying types.
Exactly.
Oh, I can't
Yeah,
believe I said
so she did manage to like fight off all those, but she also didn't need to. She had to fight the last ones because she got herself into trouble, but she came back kind of wounded and was like, I scouted up ahead, and the big stomper boy tried to do a stomper on me, and I beat him up. So now there's no stompers ahead. We're totally safe. And yeah, Jerry was like, we could have avoided those if you had just talked to me. She was like, well, it was too late. I'd seen it all.
Yeah.
It was too late. I'd done it. I had already gotten into trouble, so I fought it. And I won, okay? Now there's no Stomper Boys ahead. And I don't think I respect her more or less. I just shake my head.
You're
like-
just. Why are you like this?
Like you, yeah, like, this is not something you should still be doing. You know? And I definitely tell her off a bit. But then I do think that we have a very safe voyage, because everything avoids us after that. So we do have a safe travel. But now she has boo-boos.
And no medic.
Yeah. Yep. That's it. Go.
When am I drawing another card?
Yep.
Gonna exit.
Yeah.
We've pretty much explained that one away.
Yeah.
I think of someone in this retinue as the queen's favorite. What makes me think this? So, we know that Princess Nevers is the queen's favorite, but
But you can have a different perspective.
yeah, I do, and I, being the strong, froggy, silent type, does absorb a lot of what's the goings on in the communications tent, and I see how I was not privy to the happenings with the advisor, the previous advisor. I heard the story, didn't really bother me one way or another, but I do notice just how much. Although I see it, I get the busy work that is being given to the young advisor, and I don't know if your social norms are different probably from the social norms of the frog folk of Mudtown, but I am aware that there's extra attention being put on the new advisor, the young advisor. Would I call it her playing favorites? Maybe not exactly the words, but something's going on. There's a connection. There's a bond there that I don't quite understand. So, to me, it's obvious that she would dote on her sister a little bit, but this is a noticeable thing. She's coddling the young advisor.
Doesn't want this one dead.
Is it coddling? Sorry, go ahead.
It's,
Did you say she doesn't want this one dead? Is that what you just said?
yeah, I don't know if she'll take a dart for this one, but
You monster.
in my eyes, in Jerry's eyes, it's coddling.
That's fair from Jerry's
Like,
perspective.
I'm friends with the young advisor, or at least friendly acquaintances, and I think that they have the capability to do the job right. But I also think that she is just kind of feeding him softballs in order to, and there's like kind of no growth there. So I think that from Jerry's fish-eyed perspective, he would think, yeah, you're babying him, and that's not like you, and that's really strange. And just let the young advisor be.
As Kate brought up in chat, if, as you said, wasting someone's time is rude, she's keeping him very busy. So that would be some way of saying, I love you, maybe?
Every action in Mudville has weight to it, and every if you're doing something, it should be important, and so being busy with busy work isn't the same as having important stuff to do and acknowledging that. So I would say that no, this is a waste. This is definitely a waste of the young advisor's time, because the young advisor should be spending their time getting better at their job.
But do you
A thing which I previously said I think that they can do.
But do you, from your perspective, our culture does a bunch of weird things. So, could you see this as one of those weird things where, wait, are they doing this, in a dumb way?
I understand. Subjectively, knowing the story that I know, I understand why she's doing it. Objectively, I think it's just pointless. And I feel bad. I feel bad that the young advisor is not being given room to improve. But yeah, subjectively, I was like, okay, the queen. This person reminds the queen of someone she lost, and now she's just trying to keep them busy and safe. But that's dumb.
From your perspective, does this make the queen weak?
No. Nobody is perfect, and certainly the Mudfolk don't think that anyone should try and be decisive and powerful and organized and robotic all the time. It's more just interesting. It's surprising, really. But again, subjectively, I if not understand it, I can piece the puzzle pieces together to get why this is happening. But objectively, it's just the jobs are beneath them.
That was all I had to add.
Yeah, you think? I think that makes sense. You think it's beneath, and that's fair. That seems to all make sense. I feel like you answered it pretty good.
Cool. All right.
Whew.
What do you do that pleases the queen on this journey?
Interesting.
What pleases her?
Mm-hmm.
Well. Hmm.
I feel like we've acknowledged a few things.
Yeah. I don't know exactly what
Which one?
more
Mm-hmm.
to go into exactly. Gonna just skip that.
Yeah, sure. Do it.
Done quite a few. You were summoned to a private meeting once.
Hmm.
Why did you feel disappointed afterward? Oh. Well. This private meeting was to discuss a relationship that was progressing. And I felt disappointed leaving because there was a death that I couldn't stop.
Mm. Mm.
So I was disappointed because I felt I failed at my job.
And yet she still brought you in the retinue. She still thinks, like... She definitely doesn't blame you for that. But do you blame yourself?
I blame myself, absolutely 100%.
She definitely doesn't blame you, though. I think she blames herself. Because she stepped out of the way. Which is so sad.
This is all so.
It's the worst.
We're making this queen a tragic figure.
I'm so sad for her.
Yeah, no,
So you were just
I don't-
standing guard at this private meeting, right?
yes.
Was it them discussing their relationship?
Yes.
Oh man, so you know more about, like... You know more secrets than almost anyone. You know the truth about how the advisor died. You know, like, the specifics of their relationship.
Yeah. So that happened.
So upsetting.
I don't have any more questions because I don't want to hear any more about this.
Yeah.
I love
Yes.
how tragic it is, and I want to know more, but I also
man.
like. Did the queen ask you afterwards to keep this secret?
She did. Because it was going to be a the word, not a conspiracy. I mean, it's obviously a conspiracy.
Scandal?
A scandal. If word came out as to the goings on of the reason for the meeting, the occurrences of the death, and everything.
Do you suspect you know who did it?
I do not. I have no clue
I think that's like the saddest, roughest part about this is it seems like we're just never gonna know.
All of it, everyone blames themselves, and
Yeah.
no one knows who really did it. Oh my gosh.
It's the worst.
This is fun.
So did you...
Yeah, we're playing a game.
Oh, you guys.
However,
What?
Jerry did suspiciously all of a sudden show up
I know.
soon after.
Jerry.
As an ambassador.
So they were just discussing the relationship and the future of it. Was there by any chance a proposal?
There was.
Why are you? why are
Was
you
there
just
an
turning me through?
answer or was it incomplete?
It was incomplete.
Oh!
Oh my god. Why are you shaking your head?
It's just, you're just baiting him now. You're making it sadder and sadder and sadder. Were several puppies watching on?
There was. No, she had a promise to keep.
Woof.
I love that you're scolding like us when just earlier you were like, I love all this sad. I'm a sad boy. I love my sad boy content.
I'm just trying to defend protect my sadness.
I'm good. I don't need to make it any sadder. Thank you for answering. I'm really glad you did that question.
Me too.
All right, Jake. I believe that this has to be a happy one.
Yeah.
It has to be.
Please.
What
Please-
are the odds?
Please save us.
And they all lived happily. Why do you think the Queen trusts you enough to bring you on this journey? I don't know if I want to answer that.
You don't want to have a reason why she like actually trusts specifically you and is
Yeah, that might
not
be good.
just doing this for your sister.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know. I just mean like I feel like there's some value in
Yeah,
that, but you
yeah.
could absolutely exit and do another one and just like gamble and hope you get something
I
happier.
don't want to gamble. So why the Queen trust me? I mean, I am actually qualified, and I have advised on some important things. And I think like. She does trust me because she's obviously very certain on what she wants, and she picked me. And I think she did that because she knows I'm committed, even though. Well, no, she just knows I'm committed, and wouldn't want to see harm come to anyone. Wants to see good things happen for this kingdom, and she knows I have its best interests at heart.
Yeah, I think you like. I feel like your character is down on themselves a lot. I feel like your character.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No. I feel like your character has been all like, well, my sister was like the most amazing, so how could I possibly? But I think you have your own merits that you bring to the table, and she sees that. Like, because you have had cards that specifically said that you're good and everything. Do you feel like emboldened by the queen's trust? Do you feel like, does the queen often try and lift you up, and do you listen, or do you just squash all her compliments to you as like not being for you?
I think I used to squash every compliment forwarded towards me. It's just I would make excuses and say, oh, they don't like, she doesn't really mean it, when the queen means everything she says. And so, but I've slowly turned to, you know, yeah, I guess emboldened would be a good word for it, that she actually chose me. And you know, I would say she pays compliments, but they are never empty. That wouldn't be like our queen.
Yeah. I don't think they're
What would be... So obviously you have probably thought your way through several scenarios about how your sister died. What would be in your mind, pretending like you don't know the truth, what would be the worst thing? Like, if someone came to you and told you what happened, what would be the worst thing that you could hear?
Now you're just baiting me.
Mister, hey, stop making it so sad when you're sad eating.
When in sad Rome.
The worst thing would be if I found out that she died alone.
Yeah. Strong agree.
Don't worry, she didn't.
She died in her lover's arms. Damn
She
it.
did.
I think though I may, like, what I suspected, my clueless self, I would have hoped she was with the queen. Because I think that's what they would both want.
I'm so sad. I labeled the stream for the Queen Battle Queen edition, but it should just be like Sad Queen, like Sad Queen edition. I'm so sad.
Oh man,
Tragic.
I feel really bad. I created a tragic character. And...
I think we're all pretty tragic.
Yeah.
We all like made this just sad and sadder and sad. Any other questions?
Mm-mm.
I'm just gonna put it into... What's that?
The queen is under attack.
Do you defend her?
Do you defend your sister?
I've done it before and I'll do it again. I will always defend my sister.
We don't define what this attack is, eh?
You don't have to. You can if you want.
Well, I'm just curious, like...
Another blow dart.
She
do
also...
we want to define that right now?
Well, you also, like, she doesn't... You can leave it as vague as you want or specify as much as you want. You can declare exactly how she dies or exactly how she lives. You can... it's completely open.
Okay.
So the queen is under attack. Is it the enemies? Like, do we want to specify? Do we want to say it's the enemies? Is it the same enemies that attacked and tried to kill us so long ago? Or is this a new, like, did we not realize, like, did the poison dart come from someone new and we didn't even guess? Or...
Was it the mud people?
Was it the mud people?
Was it the mud people? Were y'all when you had that, like, you had a feeling that there was some ulterior motive, and you thought it was like a wedding, and you were like, ugh, wedding. Was it actually a murder?
It was an ambush.
The actual ulterior motive was an ambush? Was the poison dart from your kingdom but not from you? Was the poison dart like, and you were just a patsy? Like,
So is it my turn to answer this card?
it's all our turns, but technically like I drew it, but
All right.
it's all
I'll
of
give
us.
my description of what happens when it's my.
No, you can
I have an
declare
idea.
it. What do you think?
When the barrier between the two elemental planes is opened up, when I said you get dragged through, you literally do, and it's disorienting. I've done it enough times that I'm prepared, but the queen, the advisor, and the guardian are not.
Are you attacking the queen?
No, but I am the first one to see, literally lying in wait in the mud. The ambush, the ambush that's set by my people, and I do defend the queen.
You defend our queen?
Yeah, because I want change, but it's not the change. This isn't the change that I want. And yeah, I probably knock her down or out of the way, and maybe take a couple of sling hits or whatever they use to attack. I imagine slings. Slinging mud, you know.
Mudslingers.
Yeah.
And
But
then,
I do.
And then does like Kit come? Kit, do you defend the queen?
Absolutely, it's my duty.
Do you like come charging in over Jerry's body? Like,
I don't know if I'm dead.
I don't
from the
think you're
two- from
dead.
a
I
couple
just
of
mean I
sling-
feel like you would be like, you said you dived to like protect her.
Yeah.
So I just imagine you're prone. I don't think you're dead. I was not murdering you.
Thank you.
I absolutely jump in and glaive at some baddies with my one, I don't know, what is it, D8 damage?
Glaive damage amounts. I definitely try and defend the queen. I definitely think I, once again, attempt to put... I don't have wings anymore, but I attempt to put my body in the way to protect her, and I think that she actually, you know, grabs me by the shoulder and pulls me back, and then dives into the fight herself, because she is a warrior.
So I'm a scholar, not a fighter. So all I do is instinctively, I don't know what's going to happen, but I just reach out and grasp the nearest hand to me. I don't want anyone going down alone. And I don't know whose that is.
What are you attempting to do?
I'm just being there. I'm not really, I'm just standing in front of someone if I can, but just, you know,
I
more of
suppose...
a moral support than anything.
Yeah, I suppose when I tried to step forward, and I think, I do think that, like I am trained to fight. I'm just not nearly as good as my sister. And I do think I have some, like, ceremonial armor on, or ceremonial, like, wings on, or something at the moment. And so I do think that she dives forward and I get pushed back, and I think, maybe I almost get knocked down, and in that moment, like, maybe Jake, your character, grabs me.
Yeah.
And then I think maybe, like, we share a moment, and then I don't know if you're coming with me, but I'm diving back into that battle.
Yeah. Maybe after, like, eyes lock, and then
They share
Also-
that moment
Yeah, we share that moment, and the scholar just jumps in the fray.
Yeah.
Um,
You gonna do your best to do
Gonna
some
do my best.
smart fights. I think we are all wounded but survive.
Yeah, I've been thinking about. I bet that there are people in Mudville that are not. I know for a fact there are people in Mudville that are dissatisfied with
Their kingdom.
their kingdom. The queen will survive because the sinking into the mud. So this maybe was like some rogue faction. We find the actual ambassador that was supposed to meet us on the other side. You know, he's been taken out or something like that, and now there's a shame or something that my people has to deal with, where some splinter rebellion like tried this coup, but no one keeps super badass queen down. Badass battle queen, I think's what we call her.
Yeah.
Babq.
No one takes out Babq. Yeah. I think that's
I probably have some dumb line like after the fight's over and we're all covered in mud and I'm like, "Welcome to Mudville." Something like that.
I hate it here.
At least we didn't croak.
Oh no. Kit, no.
No.
You deserve a tongue lashing for that one. That's when you choose someone out. It's not a dirty thing. Anyway, that story was really sad.
It was sad, but in the end, we all survived, and the queen didn't die. That's not bad for a game of For the Queen. That's not bad.
Does she usually die?
Nah, so. I think I've had her die like half the time. Like, sometimes she dies heroically, sometimes she dies sadly, sometimes... Kate, did she die in our game? Kate, do you remember? Kate was the queen's cousin. Lauren was her daughter. I'm trying to remember. I think no, she lived. Okay. She lived in that one. Yeah, this is For the Queen, y'all. What'd you think? What?
I loved it. I've never played a game like this.
Yeah.
It was so much fun. Like I want to play again right now.
It's
If it weren't-
very reminiscent of A Quiet Year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it has the same thing in it that I like about Fall of Magic, where the prompts are very smartly written.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a testament to it that every time a card gets flipped over, we're like, oh no,
Yeah.
because like it's obvious that they thought about what they're the leading questions, right? The question itself pushes you in certain directions, and it's pretty great. I think if the cards came out in a different order, any one of us could have wanted her dead. You know what I mean? Like they designed the game really well.
They do. They really design it in a way where like you could really be sympathetic, unsympathetic to her. Like, you know what I mean? She could be really cruel. She could be really kind. Like, I've had queens where the queen brings out the absolute best in everyone in the retinue, and I've had ones where she was like really mean to everyone in the retinue, and everyone was like, why do we like her? Like,
this would almost be really fun to play as almost a pre-session 0.
Yeah.
I definitely want to build up an adventure or a D&D game or something that takes place in like the para-elemental planes and the little weird towns that are there, because I think that's one of my favorite things to come out of this.
yeah, I like that, the cross between the usual elements. like the mixing into like tertiary elements, like the
Yeah, you can read up on it. It's really weird. The elemental plane of mud. Yeah.
I didn't know that was an actual thing, so that's really
Yeah.
interesting to me.
There's a bunch. There's actually 8. There's four quasi-elemental planes and 4 para-elemental planes.
Okay.
And if you look at all the mephits, the mephits in the monster manual, they are all the different.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Gotcha.
I have an interesting mephit fact, but this is probably not the right time.
Is it bad?
No. When people on the the elemental plane send messages, they send different colored mephits to represent the. They don't even send a message with the mephit. It's just what mephit shows up is the message. So if like you get a magma mephit, then they're mad at you, and if you get an ice mephit, they're chill. That kind of thing. So it's kind of like a horse head. It's like the horse head in the bed, right? It's like depending on the mephit that shows up, that's the message that's being sent.
It's like a howler in Harry Potter. Like you could get like a normal letter, or you could get like something like a howler. That you like.
You fucked up.
Yeah, you done fucked up. Like when you get that like magma mephit, I feel like. That's awesome. But let's go around and say our goodbyes. If everyone wants to say like a favorite thing or a favorite moment, where people can find you, something, anything you want to plug, go for it. We'll go bottom up this time. Starting from the bottom, now we're at Jordan.
I'm Jordan. I can be found on the internet at Made of Cartoons. The Hubblewood PDF went live yesterday to some acclaim, so I think it'll be up on the site soon for you to download, like download. It looks really nice, and I can't wait to get the hard copy in my hand. And then you'll see me again next Tuesday for probably some more Fall of Magic, and then next Friday is Fiasco Friday, again with Dusty and Meg and Jason and me. That's about it.
Favorite thing?
Oh,
getting to be a frog boy.
I try not. I try
the
to.
Old Croak and Smoke.
Croak and Smoke is good. I'm not gonna lie. I liked Croak and Smoke a lot. I did like my metaphor, my last minute metaphor of that our queen can't sink. Our queen can't.
That was really good.
I try not to toot my own horn with these favorite parts, but I was pretty proud of that little reveal. Yeah, and I think my favorite moment was Kit taking in stride having to explain how Jake's character's sister died. And even though it was extremely sad, it was nice. It was a good story. It made sense.
Yeah.
Kit, you're a good improver because you just take things and run with them. So
yeah, that was really good.
And also a really good shot with the spray bottle.
You know what? I'm gonna go last so I can say goodbye and like turn off the channel. So Jake.
Hi, I'm Jake. You can find me at Jacob Honey on Twitter. I occasionally make art and do streams like this. I definitely want to do more in the future. This was a ton of fun. The first time I've played a system like this. Favorite thing? Shoot. Would it just probably be like every time we drew a card, everyone's reaction was because once we learned each of our characters, we're like, we read the card and we saw where it was going and we just, followed it down that road, however sad it was.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a really fun overall experience. I liked it a lot.
Legit. That's fair. And Kit.
Well, my favorite thing was when we're like, so are we like animal people? because that's cool.
Yeah.
So I liked that.
Yeah.
That was probably my favorite thing. Also being like the secret keeper of the group, because
Ooh,
Yeah.
it's so many. It's good.
all
Yeah.
of the secrets. As for me, you can find me on Twitch and Twitter at KitBattlebeard. On Saturdays, generally, I stream my homebrew campaign of Defenders of the Dusk. And on Tuesdays, I'm here for the next couple weeks. And also on Mondays, I am doing Monday nights Get Nuked on Bloodthirsty Puppets, where we're doing a bunch of one-shots to get ready for their new campaign. We're setting up some history through one-shots.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That sounds really awesome. Oh hi, it me Jess. This is my channel. Thank you for being here. If you're here and you haven't hit the follow button yet, do that. And come hang out with us more, and come play games with us, and come do all this stuff. We love, we do a lot of games like this, like GMless prepless stuff, because I hate prepping things, but I love indie games that let you just run with a story and make it up and make it as sad as you possibly can. And, I loved us taking our queen from, like, this battle-hardened queen, which she was, and she still was, like, badass battle queen, but to, like, this tragic figure, and, like, figuring out that, like, it went from, like, Jake's character being mad at the loss of his sister to finding out that, like, the queen herself was... oh my god, arguably even sadder over it, and, like...
yeah.
blamed herself for it, and like, and I love the secret sweetness that, like, she would put wings on me. Anyways, all of that. But thanks everyone so much for hanging out. Like Jordan said, next Tuesday we should be back with Fall of Magic. Thursday we will have our regular Thursday stream, but it's actually ending early this Thursday, and there will be no weekend stuff this weekend because I will be away. But come back next week for all the good stuff that we do here, and come hang out with us, come play games, come do all that stuff. Thank you all for playing with me. Thanks for being here, playing that game, making that sad story. Thanks for making me sad, all of you.
My pleasure. Absolutely my pleasure.
You're all the best worst. Oh my god. But thanks so much, everyone. Heart all your faces. Everyone have a good night. I am gonna send us rating over to Scrat's channel, who is awesome and is a ton of fun. Go check them out if you don't already. But in the meantime, have a good night. Heart your faces. Hope to see y'all later.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching and all
And thanks
that.
for joining us last minute, kind of, Jake.
Yeah, any other time you want me to join you, I'm down. This was so much fun.
That's a dangerous thing to say. Right
Yeah,
here.
you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful saying that. That's, But thanks, everyone. We'll see you all later. Have a good night. Bye!
Bye.
Bye.